Coach Academy. The stream is started, and please share it with everybody. And we're going to get started right now. As we look at these images, as we think about the extraordinary time in this world, we remember the beautiful line that we are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the time we've been preparing for. Nobody knows for sure exactly what it truly means, how long it's going to last. But what we do know is we have each other. And so welcome to Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe. This is your chance, our chance to come together in community, where we're going to have music.
Let's walk together, take my hand and we will heal this land.
Inspirational speakers.
Recreate, reimagine, renew, relook, respect, and regenerate.
Wisdom jewels.
Let yourself become intolerant of apathy, intolerant of injustice. Let yourself become intolerant of ignorance.
And even some comedy.
With all of this light energy, not only will you be able to heal souls, but I bet you'll be able to re-soul heals.
And some magic.
Are you ready? Here we go. Let's count to 3. Everybody, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Solved. Yes.
Recognizing that the greatest magic is how we can all be together, no matter where we are geographically, sharing in the universal language of love and music.
With all things I am one. With all things I am one.
And learning from these extraordinary speakers coming into our show.
We are the imaginal cells connecting right now, and they find a new way of connecting. Well, maybe we're not connecting out on the streets and we're not connecting at big concerts, but we are connecting through the globe right now. There are people all over this world in this moment together, this moment when we are beginning to awaken in the chrysalis to who we are becoming.
Thank you for joining us. The show is just about to begin.
With all things I am one. 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 With all things I am one.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you with us. I'm Love Coach Scott CATOMAS, and I'm your co-host for the evening, along with Kenny Kaufman, Deborah GUSTIE, and it is my honor to turn it over to my partner, Deborah, to tell you a little bit more about the show and about today's partner. You're muted, Deborah.
Okay. Hi, welcome to what's going to be another amazing evening at Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe. This is our 6th show, and we started this in response to the lockdown and us wanting to connect in community and really showcase amazing musicians and speakers, wisdom jewels, and come together. And we've had such great response. It keeps growing and growing every year. And we want to invite you to share this on Facebook, and you can even share with your friends right now to join with us. And also, please feel free to comment in the chat room where you came from, where you're living, and say hi to everyone, because we have people from all over the world that are joining us. And at the end of the show, we have community connections where we can allow the people in the community to come on and give a 1-minute transmission. So you can stay around for that. And we financed the future shows by a GoFundMe campaign. So we invite you to share with us and donate to that. And also we take that money and we donate to some nonprofits. And we're going to share a little bit about that afterwards. And first of all, I want to announce one of our partners, Ken Kaufman of New Living Expo, who's going to share a few things with us.
Thank you, everybody, and hope everybody's going to have a wonderful time tonight. I'm just so happy to be part of this event and it's almost a month now that we've been doing this. And I just read this thing. Okay. I read this thing the other day and I just thought it's so funny to share. And, you know, we're staying home in our little quarantine area. And I read this and I just got to share this. It says, after 3 weeks of homeschooling, my 7, 9, and 12-year-old kids, they have graduated from high school, now ready to move out and get jobs when the quarantine is over. So that's how homeschooling is going. I'll hand it back to you, Deborah.
Thanks, Ken. So one thing that's really special about what we're doing is we're reaching out to communities and festivals and conferences to co-collaborate, because that's an important part of what we believe the new paradigm is about, is us coming together and really working together. So today we are collaborating with Conscious Life Expo, which is a major conference that's been taking place for many years in Los Angeles, drawing thousands of people in February. And we've invited Diana Maxwell to be our co-host, along with producer Robert Quicksilver. So I want to invite Diana to come on. Hello, Diana, and share a little bit about the theme and maybe a few of the speakers that are going to be on, because we have an amazing roster of speakers and musicians coming on tonight. So thank you so much, Diana.
Hello, and thank you so much for including us in this amazing broadcast that you've been doing and bringing home to people every Saturday night and lifting people's spirits and giving them inspiration. And at this time, while there's so much transition and change and unknown going on in the world, there is an opportunity for us to get a window into the future of a future world. And I'm hoping that we will awaken and bring some of these things through after this whole transformation takes place. We've got no war, no smog, and oil is worth nothing right now. So I think this is all good knowledge, and people are going inside and finding their inner depths. And that is what we hope that this show will encourage and inspire. And now we have an international, world-renowned musician and songwriter who is a premier artist in the world and devotional music genre. Hello, Donna.
Hey.
And her name is, this is Donna DeLory, and she has lent her voice to many amazing recordings with Bette Midler and Leonard Cohen, and also toured with Madonna on her major tours as a dancer and backup vocalist. So welcome, Donna. Thank you so much for joining us today. It means a lot to us.
It's so great to be here on this beautiful day, this beautiful weekend. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Oh, Mother's
And
Day.
I feel very blessed. I have 2 beautiful daughters, and I'm just feeling so grateful in this very challenging time. But I've been managing to stay very creative in my studio, and I've been working on a meditation album. And just deeply touched and really thinking a lot about all the medical workers. And it's just inspired me to go deeper in my heart and into my my own purpose and everything. So I'm here to share music with you. That's what I'm here for. And I heard one of the speakers before say, I'm here for the cause, you know, I'm here to do whatever it takes. And I feel the same way. So it's great to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We didn't, could you tell us what the name of the song is going to be that you're going to do?
Well, this is a song that I just released. It actually was released by an artist named Garish. It's called Diamonds in the Sun, We Shine. And it was released 10 years ago. And Garish asked me to be the guest vocalist on this. and it was released, and it's become a very popular, like, a yoga hit. It's done really well. I mean, streaming and everything. And he even said to me, he was like, this is more popular than ever, the song. And I feel like it's a real positive song. I added some English verses to it, which you'll hear, and a bridge, and I just kind of embellished it and expanded it a bit. And I encourage you guys, it's a real simple chorus. It says, we shine like diamonds in the sun, every one of us shines. That's the chorus, so sing along. And you guys ready?
Yes, thank you. Please take it away. Take it away.
All right. We were born from the light of the one love. Every soul has the right to know peace in this life. May all beings be happy and free. And we shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines, and we shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines. Look up, summer star, Sukino, Lavantu. I pray for you and I to choose love and not fear. Our time here is at hand to know we're one family. And may all beings everywhere be happy. And may every child know peace. And we shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines, and we shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines, and we shine with every color of one spectrum, one beautiful light, and we shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shine, even in our darkest times. You and I can find the light together. Look up, summer star, Sukino, Lavantu. We shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines, and we shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines, and we shine with every color of one spectrum, one beautiful light, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine. You know, guys know that mantra? May all beings be happy. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. together and we shine.
Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you so very,
Shine
very
even
much.
in our darkest times.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful. We have over 250 people in our webinar room, thousands more watching on Facebook. And welcome, everybody.
Thank you for
Our
doing it.
And it's a perfect song because as Donna brings us into shining our light, our theme tonight is awakening the new paradigm. So we're going to hear from amazing speakers, inspirations of what awakening to the new paradigm really means. And we want to hear from all of you. Put it in the chat box. What does awakening the new paradigm mean to you as you shine your light, as Donna has started with us? And I'm really, one of the things that we want to do in this group, as we've been growing it, is having lots of different voices, people of different ages, people of different cultures. And so I'm really happy that we're going to have MYEKA joining us next. And MYEKA is coming from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And MYEKA, what's your vision as you shine your light upon all of us? What's your vision for the new paradigm?
Hello, everyone. In this time, it is most important and very critical what we decide as a community and nation. It'll determine which pathway our society shall go. Because going back now is not an option. What we decide now will change the face of our next generation. So my vision, or anyone else's vision for the future, shall put us in a better position than what we were once in. It should help define those that are blended in society that has a dream to make a difference. We should in every moment spit crafting the laws and restrictions to create something new. We shall and we must think about the next person, and not how this pandemic has faced us with the knives to our throat. This new lifestyle shall innovate us. It should make us into engineers, people that are on the edge of becoming something this world can't live without. I say all that to say that the vision for the future shall give us hope. And yes, it shall put us in a better position than what we were once in. But people, we must understand that if we didn't have a better structure then, now is the time to build a better one through the lens of a different perspective. We are more than ever capable of change and conducive for change. Not only in my community, but globally. So it's not what we enforce, it's how we enforce it. So tap into the greatness that lies within you. The question is, are you going to be a part of the change, or are you going to revise a greater solution? Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you, MYEKA Brown, 19 years old. A generation that we're just so proud of. Thank you very much, MYEKA, for being with us. Thank you. Diana?
Thank you. Thank you so much. And as we embrace the theme, awakening to a new paradigm, I would now like to introduce David WOLFE. He's a pioneer in the superfoods and longevity multiverse, and he has over 25 years of experience in this field. Welcome, David.
Hi, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here.
And
And
also,
I've got some show and tell, but go ahead, Diana.
Oh, I was just also going to say that you founded this amazing fruit tree planting foundation in 2002, which has planted over 1 million trees. And so that's an incredibly impressive number. So
Thank you so much. You know, all those years from 2002 until now, it's a long time. all those years and all the businesses I've had that you guys have supported. Thank you so much. Some of that has gone to the Fruit Tree Planting Foundation every single month, every single year, all along. We put 1 million trees in the ground all over the world, and it's a beautiful project. And one of those trees is actually right here. I got a piece of it. This is one of my apple trees. And what I wanted to talk about is immune system and immunity. And one of the big breakthroughs of our time is the discovery of the medicinal mushrooms and how easy they are. And I'm going to break it down for you because this is the piece that Paul Stamets never says. And I really have always been on to him like, dude, why don't you tell people this straight away? You know, the best thing for our immune system generally as the latitudes that we live in are mushrooms that grow from trees. That was chocolate. Anyway, that's one of them right there. And that's an apple tree that I grew in my yard for 15 years. And this year, a big part of it didn't make it. So it was eaten by medicinal mushrooms. So instead of getting the apples this year, actually what we're going to be getting is these mushrooms right here, which I dried this out, this whole piece. And whatever you see mushrooms growing off a tree, that's a medicinal mushroom. That's what I've been trying to get Paul to kind of tell people, because that makes it so simple. If it's a mushroom growing out of the ground, then I'm a big mushroom hunter. I'm an expert mushroom hunter, but there's many, many, many thousands that I don't know on the ground, but out of a tree, I know. And that's such a beautiful thing to know. Like, oh, wait, you remember Avatar, the film where they said, it's just a bunch of stupid trees. Is it just a bunch of stupid trees? What's going on with trees producing our medicine for us? So I've got some different samples here that I brought together. And I want to show you, this is one we pulled out, very immunological. So what we do with these is we make teas out of them. So I would just literally scrape this stuff off. You can see this one has a poria on it. This is a twig, but you can see there's this thing growing on it here. These are spleen tonics, some of the best immunological substances in the world. And you just literally dry this out. I'm drying it on my wood burning stove over there, break the stuff off into tea and make a tea out of that. It's delicious, absolutely delicious. Nobody would be, if I served you the tea, be like, oh, this is great. Nobody is averse to the flavor. It's beautiful. Actually, the flavors are polysaccharides. So they're long chain sugars, which are immunomodulatory, which is so beautiful in the sense that it has kind of a sweet taste. That's what a polysaccharide is. It's a sugar. So whether you're in New York City, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in the United Kingdom, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in Southeast Asia, there are medicinal mushrooms growing off trees right in your ecosystem, right? Maybe even right in your backyard. This is reishi mushroom. Doesn't that look like kidneys or lungs? You can tell, right? It's telling you like, hey, check out the message here. And all I've got to do is take this little guy and throw it into tea, and that's it. And just cook this thing up with water. That's all. And away we go. I can also take this thing and throw it into alcohol too, which is a little bit more fast acting. So if I wanted something like immediately, like, oh, I'm feeling something hitting my immune system, the alcohol extracts are a little stronger. Generally on the day-to-day, we just drink these teas right here. And we use these teas of these wonderful medicinal mushrooms. Let me show you another one, like this one. Look at that one. Isn't that wild? We use these for the base of our chocolate drinks or a hot chocolate. So every morning, every night I have a hot chocolate. And that's my basic diet most of the time. And that's the base that's underneath it, a tea made with that right there. So instead of using green tea, which is also great and wonderful, and I'm into green tea and all the great, wonderful herbs from Tulsi to ashwagandha to astragalus to pau d'arco and cat's claw and all these wonderful things. But the medicinal mushrooms are most appropriate for us because they are momentum based. So let me give you a little bit about what these do for us. On the first day, it's really good. Yes, great. 100 days in, then you've built up some immunological momentum. But once we get to day 10,000, your whole immune system's changed. You're not good. Like I've done 26 years on the road. This has broken a streak for me. 26 years on the road. And now I finally am at home for 7 straight weeks, the first time ever in all that time. And when you have that long period of being on the road, you have to learn immunity because you could be doing a show the next morning. You could be in airports, trains, planes, automobiles, and you got to know these things. And one of the things that I learned in that on the road is this right here, the medicinal mushrooms, they're key. If you're just beginning, you can start with stuff you find in a health food store that you understand that's encapsulated. Maybe you get bulk powders. The powders taste good because remember, these are polysaccharides, they're sugars. So they taste pretty good. They taste great, actually. So you can use them and make sauces, dips, throw it in the guacamole as a powder even. And so you can fit it into your cuisine. And then as you get more advanced, then you start going for this kind of stuff. Like you start tracking, okay, then how do I get these things out of the forest? What is that thing growing over there off that tree? And you start getting to the point where, let me go break this thing off and see if I can make something out of it. And that comes as a later step. But the first step is just opening yourself up to medicinal mushrooms as a medicine that's universal. It's everywhere where there are trees. Even I was at the Dead Sea. And I was up in the middle of the night and I'm walking past this tree. I mean, this is a desert, and boom, there's a polypore coming right out of the side of a tree in the middle of the desert, meaning a medicinal mushroom. So that's my little spiel here is we can change our immune system and become more equipped, basically nourish our immune system. So our immune system has more weaponry, more in the arsenal. And this is not the only tool, but it's the best right now for all of us. Now, if you have a mushroom allergy, I do want to address that. Generally, the one you want to go for is chaga mushroom. So chaga would be the one if you have mushroom allergy, because it doesn't have that compound in it that smells mushroomy that people have an allergy to. But that's about 1 in every 200 or 300 people has that allergy. If you're not that person, wow, what a great thing to discover the medicinal mushrooms. So that's my spiel for tonight. Hope you're having the best day ever, wherever you are in the world. Super important to take this time right now to reset, reinvigorate, rejuvenate. Thanks so much.
Thank you, David. That was amazing. And thank you for all your years of giving us very top information that's really important for us to know for our health. You've been an amazing pioneer and still at it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now I get to introduce an amazing being who's been on the forefront of the new paradigm forever. Alan Steinfeld has been a leader and weaver on the cutting edge. He has been the host and producer of the YouTube channel New Realities, which has had 20 million views, has 65,000 subscribers, and he has been interviewing people on the new paradigm forever. So he's been in the best position learning from all the masters that have come. So Alan, I'd love to hear your wisdom, Joel, about awakening the new paradigm.
Well, thank you, Deborah and Scott and our spirit family. Here we are back together again in a non-local consciousness. I just want to say before I start is that I met Scott CATOMAS 1989. I'm sleeping in a tent in Maui at Haleakua. Scott shows up with a film crew and says to me, "You want to be assistant director of this film that they're doing?" So I say, sure, I wasn't doing anything else. So it's like what's happening now. I'm sitting in my little tent here in New York City. Scott shows up, says, "You want to be a part of this?" 31 years later, there's this cycle, and thank you for inviting me. So like Deborah said, I talk to a lot of psychics and intuitives and healers, and it seems like no one was able to see, at least the visionaries, the psychics, beyond 2020, because we have taken a different timeline. We are now on a different trajectory. And it's like we've been hanging through the woods on a path, we're on a path. And most of the time, history happens looking backwards. This is the first time we have a chance to look history in the face. So here we are along the path. Maybe it's Maui, maybe it's somewhere, and the path has ended. There's nothing for us to do except hack our way through the unknown. We are meeting the unknown face to face. And I want everyone to just feel the uncertainty of this time, and not with fear, just with vibration, like, what's the future? What's tomorrow? What's going to happen? It's not about knowing. It's about being so present. You feel that vibration going through every cell in your body. Just for a moment. It's like it shakes us because we're so used to certainty, safety, security. And now it's all blown open with a gift for us to go in with adventure and excitement. People who project the fear into the unknown only are projecting the past. We have a chance to project the future. And like Shar, who will be coming up, says, conditions in the world don't matter, only states of consciousness matter. So what's your state of consciousness? Are you feeling safe and secure in yourself? That is the key to this time, dropping into who you are in your divine essence with all the divine beings that have devoted their life to this very moment that we knew at somehow would happen to unfold an awakening. And maybe in 20 years, we'll say, you remember what happened when all the planet woke up at the same time on that 7 billion person spiritual retreat that we're on now? Well, that's what's happening. So drop in the feeling of uncertainty, and we're going to create the future with simple breaths, okay? So here we reach the end of the path. We look back, there's the path. Forward, there's nothing but wilderness. How do we create the future? By intending it with your pituitary, third eye, your frontal lobe. What future do you want to create? Now, to visualize it, create it for yourself in your mind, the best future for you, the planet, our relationships. And what we're going to do is going to take 3 breaths, and you're going to hold your hands like this, because this symbolizes the pituitary gland, which is like a little bud, until it opens to the higher perceptions. I'm going to take 3 breaths with holding a vision in your third eye, right there, right behind the skull there, and the pituitary area. Close your eyes. Hold a vision of what you want your way through this wilderness to look like for you and the world. And put your hands out like this. Hold that vision and take a breath in. And hold that vision and breathe it out. And keep holding it, hold it. We're going to do this 3 times all together. Hold that vision, and breathe it in. And hold it in your third eye. Hold it right there and breathe it out. Okay, one more time. You'll see it start to dissolve, but hold the vision you want for yourself, the planet, humanity, and the future of our civilization. Okay, hold it, breathe it in. Now hold it deep in your lungs. Hold it. Hold that vision, and so be it.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for all your years with New Realities show. And now we get to go into some music. And this is truly one of my favorite musical artists. This person, Elijah Ray, is truly an amazing artist. He's an international recording artist, vocalist, composer, poet, multi-instrumentalist. His music career spans 17 years. And what's so special about him is he is a one-man band. His one-man band, he calls himself the Band of Light. And what's ultimately so special, he comes from his heart, his soul, and divine. Every time he brings music into the space, it just raises the energy and the frequency up. And so I'm so happy to present Elijah Ray.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say yes to everything Brother Alan just gave us there in that wisdom jewel. Thank you so much. I want to just keep that train rolling, actually. I'd like to just keep riding on the wave of co-creating the future by letting that vision in our pineal and planting it in the fertile soil of our hearts for just a few moments. I have a unique and interesting opportunity as an artist to either play something that's rehearsed and all figured out that I've done a million times before, or create something new right here with you guys. So what would you like? You want to hear something new right now? Can we co-create something together?
Absolutely,
the living
something new.
of this love that we're co-creating. So that's what I'm saying yes to. So if you join me by taking a big deep breath with me, let it all out. One more big deep breath. And this time, let's just make one tone together. We're going to say the word home. We're going to tone home together, and we'll just sail off into the new earth. Here we go. Ready? Big, deep breath in. Home.
Thank you so much, Elijah Ray. It's awesome.
Thank you, family. Aloha.
And he's going to be back for another number. So thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Elijah Ray. Beautiful, beautiful. And now I get to introduce an amazing man, Billy Carson. I call him a wonder man. He is a master researcher of all things of the emerging new paradigm. He's on the case constantly. He's a best-selling author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. He's an expert host on Deep Space on Gaia TV. And one of the things he's most well known for is his newsletter, Forbidden Knowledge, which is always giving the cutting information of what's coming up next on everything that's going on in the planet, especially what's going on behind the scenes. So he's got a lot of things that he could share with us, but I'm really curious to hear what he has to say about awakening into this new paradigm. So thank you so much for joining us, Billy. And here is Billy Carson.
All right, thank you. So far, this has been absolutely amazing. Thanks for having me a part of this. It's really good to see a lot of familiar faces, that I normally would have seen quite a bit more this year in person if it wasn't for the situation that we're in right now. So thank you to whoever and all the parties involved that put this together to give us a chance to reunite on this virtual medium. So thank you very much. As you know, there has been obviously a lot going on in the world. About 2 months ago, I was in Australia out in the outback, and I was out there looking for some Proto-Egyptian hieroglyphs with some guides and some elders. And that's when I first found out about the situation that we're currently in, that it was spreading from Asia across the world. I was almost wondering if I could make it back in time before I was, maybe potentially locked down in another country. And that's when a lot of things started coming to mind. How do I handle this situation? What if I can't get back? How am I prepared to be away from my homeland without being able to access all of the things that I need to survive on a very consistent and frequent basis? So it really made me start to think. And as I did get back and get through customs and everything, I started seeing right away a shift in the way that everything was going, a shift in the way everybody had to think, a shift in the way everybody had to handle this current situation. And I began to realize that this was going to be a very huge marker, a very huge statement in the space-time continuum. This is a ripple that's going to go on and excel past where we are now, far beyond into the golden age. And I began to realize that we are headed into a new paradigm. And this is exactly what this, this talk is about tonight with everybody here. Like, what is the new paradigm? Where are we headed consciously? Let's talk about the paradigm, first of all. A paradigm is a standard perspective or a set of ideas. It's a way of looking at something, and it's the word paradigm itself, in a lot of ways, means academic, scientific, and it's also used a lot in the business world. But when you change your paradigm, you're changing how you think about something. And that's literally what we're going through right now. We're changing how we think about the oneness, the self, our family, our businesses, our workplace, schools, universities, everything that's going on right now. We're rethinking how we connect with those things. We're rethinking how we connect with the court systems and everything else. Everything now is moving in a different way of thought. Also, I think what's happening is we're now reconnecting a lot with ourselves. This, this temporary timeout, if you want to call it, for humanity, hopefully, and I really do believe that it has put a lot of people in a position to really reflect on themselves and their family members. I think that a lot of us had forgotten that we had a stranger in the house, probably your so-called spouse or your other, and also children. And just in talking to some friends of mine that are obviously going through the same thing, and looking at them, how they now are interacting with their children more and participating and actually talking to them more, not letting video games babysit their children. And also some of my friends have rekindled the spark in their relationships with their better half. So there's a lot of ways to look at this, but I think one of the biggest things we can do is look, how can we use this situation that appears to be a negative situation and has affected the world in a partly negative way, how can we use it to change our life? And what things can we do? What can we do right now to change our life? Because people need solutions. We already know about this situation. We know that it's, it's affecting millions and millions, really billions of people around the entire world. But now, how can we readjust to this? How can we readjust and find a few ways to help change our lives? I think the first, to make exercise a priority, number one, because you have to take care of this avatar body. This is your vessel. This is your temple. The temple is the body, in my personal opinion. And I think that exercise, now it doesn't mean you have to go all out and become this super duper workout guru, but even simple things like just walking, if you can find a good, safe place to walk, if you can walk even around your house, if you have a couple of very light dumbbells, just get good movement going. If you can do some calisthenics, if you're strong enough to do push-ups or squats or things like that. But you got to get something going where you actually get your heart pumping a little bit. Having yourself just sitting around doing absolutely nothing with a low heart rate is not going to help you out whatsoever. You got to get a little bit of blood flowing. Also, I think another key thing is to be able to do something for someone else, being of service to others. And that's going to help raise your vibration, but also, like a virus is a thing that spreads from person to person. Service to others is also something that spreads from person to person. So when you go out and you help somebody, whether it's something as simple as if you got to go to the store, for example, and you know that there's somebody that may not be able to get to the store as easily as you, maybe they don't have a car, maybe they're elderly, maybe they're already ill or sick, or they have difficulty getting places. Well, you would contact that person and say, hey, I'm already going to the store. Is there anything that I can pick up for you? Something as simple as that, but being of service to others. This entire conference, this virtual conference, is an example of being of service to others. The parties that came together and put this together, this is a service to others. This is a service to millions. So find a way to be of service to others. It could be something very small. It could be something large. But doing that, again, raises your vibration, which to me, in my opinion, alters the way we think, alters your future paradigm, and helps to take you to another level consciously that will let you synchronize with the universal consciousness. Also, I think live a purposeful life. Now that we've seen what it means to be yanked back, we can't take things for granted anymore. I was flying 20 days a month. My record was 29 days in 31 that I was on an airplane. And that was working almost every single day. I'd land, go do something, get back on the plane, go, it was lecture after lecture, workshop after workshop, meeting after meeting, back to back. I had gotten so used to it. I had luggage in 3 different houses around the country, and I was jet setting around the world nonstop. And all of a sudden that came to a complete halt just like that. And that's when I pulled back and realized, whoa, my freedom or my ability to go where I want, when I want, and how I want had just been completely altered and stopped. And it hit me, it actually impacted me because I realized I was taking that simple freedom for granted. The ability to go where I want, when I want, and how I want, as fast as I want, I had taken that for granted myself. So we have to live a purposeful life. We have to enjoy things in life, and we have to do things that make purpose and that mean things. And we have to also, don't forget to enjoy every single microsecond of everything that's happening. And also, I think you have to make courage. You have to have courage to make the switch to deciding to live a better conscious lifestyle, deciding to treat your family members better, deciding to love other people unconditionally. It doesn't mean that if somebody does something wrong to you, that you continue to go and give them hugs and kisses and do business with them. But if somebody does something wrong to you, forgive that person and say to yourself, whether out loud or internally, I bless this person and I hope they find the error of their ways and they make a change along their path. That becomes the better thing for them and also the people that surround them. But you don't have to deal with that person again as long as you consciously have released and let go of that negativity in your heart and bless that person. And yes, you can bless a person, because the divine power and energy of the spark of the universe is inside of your body. So you can actually bless somebody and you can walk with power. I think it's important for people to understand. Also, embrace learning new things. So now that we're all, home, there's a lot of things that happen just that I've witnessed that normally you would make a phone call and have somebody come repair or fix. And a lot of that stuff was shut down in the very beginning of this. So you have to become innovative. You have to realize that you can make changes. You can fix things around the house. You can read an instructional guide to, and make adjustments here and there. And you can learn how to do things for yourself. You can learn how to cook a couple of new dishes or a couple of new meals because you're going to get tired of eating the same old thing. But I think it's important that we embrace learning new things, that we take this opportunity to say, you know what, I wasn't really good at this particular thing, but now that I have this time, let me research it. We have YouTube, we have eBooks, we have all the stuff online. Let me research some of this and let me try to apply some of it and see if I can become better at this particular thing that I was lacking at. Taking on those new challenges also help create a stronger brain, a stronger mind. New folds will develop in your brain when you develop these new skills and these new tasks as well. And you can pass those things on down to your children and other people. And it becomes very good survival tactics that you can utilize for the future for yourself. And just real quick closing in, find meaning in life, like I said before, create a dream board. Now that you've got this time, this would be the time that you're saying, I always wanted to start my own business, but I never had the time. Well, you have the time now. Start your own business. Write down a goal sheet. Short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. Figure out, reverse engineer it. What does it take to get to the medium term, from the long-term back to the medium term? What does it take to get to the medium term back to the short-term? Reverse engineer it all the way back and create little steps in between, working towards an ultimate goal, and start living a well-balanced life. And those are just some of the things that I would say as we head into this new paradigm, as we head into the age of the Aquarius, which starts in 2025. I think that we're heading to this 5D consciousness mindset and usher mankind, or start the process of ushering mankind back into the golden age. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Billy. Let's just take a moment and just breathe in and digest all that wonderful, wonderful information that you just gave us. Being of service, using this time wisely, improving our relationships, learning, tuning in to truly what our higher self, our God self, is calling us to do. Like we said before, we are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the time we've been preparing for. I really appreciate, Billy, everything you just said. Thank you.
Thank
you. When I was thinking about our topic of awakening into the new paradigm, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a coach. I created the Love Coach Academy, and I spent about half my time coaching people and the other half of the time training other coaches. Right now I'm training 22 coaches. And so obviously my whole life is all about how best to reach people and coach people. And I'm really proud that I get to introduce you to who I go to when I want coaching. And he is truly about the new paradigm. I'm talking about T.J. Woodward. T.J. is a best-selling author of 2 books, Conscious Being and Conscious Recovery. And TJ has brought into our world a new paradigm of understanding about how to manage the challenge of addiction, codependence, and recovery. So I'm really happy to have TJ with us, giving us a wisdom jewel. Thank you, TJ.
Thank you so much, Scott. And I'm so absolutely delighted to be here. And I love the topic of awakening into a new paradigm, because that really is my journey. And I actually want to share a little bit with all of you my own personal journey of awakening into a new paradigm in my life, because I think that actually is so much more powerful even than me sharing some wisdom that I have in my mind. I want to say that what I want to share with you is that I came into this world deeply connected with the truth of who I am, who I was. I remember being in awe of the world, present, open-hearted, mesmerized by a blade of grass and a butterfly. I also remember that sensation or that experience of awe and wonder diminishing due to coming into a world that was teaching me about separation and fear and good and bad and right and wrong. And the paradigm that I was taught or programmed with was a paradigm of fear and separation. And so I walked around feeling broken and damaged, closed off, like there was something fundamentally wrong with me. And I ended up turning to drugs and alcohol at a really young age to try to manage that. And started my spiritual journey. Well, it's all a spiritual journey, but I consciously started my spiritual journey when I was 20 years old, and I got into recovery and started my spiritual journey. And I want to fast forward to about 12 years ago when I started working in the addiction treatment field. So I want to spend just my last few moments here talking about the paradigm that I see in the way we have viewed and treated addiction, and for a moment talk about the new paradigm. So we are deeply entrenched in the Western medical model, which treats symptoms and behaviors. And we have tended to focus on the symptoms and the behaviors of addiction without getting down to the deeper root causes. And the new paradigm that I am intending to bring into the world in a big way is to shift our focus from what's broken about people with addiction to looking at their spiritual wholeness. So what I want to say in closing is we can call off the search. We can shift from looking to the world to try to help us feel more whole and recognize that it's the truth of who and what we've always been. And as Scott so beautifully said, that we are the ones we've been waiting for, and that the journey is really a journey into our own wholeness and our own perfection. So peace and blessings, everyone. I'm delighted to have been able to share for just a couple of minutes with you.
Oh, thank you, TJ. And I just want to let everybody know that in 2 days, on Monday, TJ is doing a free online event, and it's a conversation with TJ and Marianne Williamson. What time is that going to be, TJ?
It's at 2 o'clock on the 11th. If you go to, on Monday, 2 o'clock West Coast time, and if you go to tjwoodward.com, you can sign up for a free ticket to join us that day.
Great. Well, I know I'm going to be there, and we're going to post it all over Love Coach Academy and through kind of this ever-growing network that we have. So thank you very, very much, TJ, for sharing with us. Thank you. All right. Turning it back over to Diana.
Wow. Well, I am very, very touched and inspired and blown away by everything that I've heard so far. And continuing now with Donna DeLory, she's going to sing another beautiful song with us. And I feel like music like hers is what's helping us awaken into a new paradigm. So we're very blessed to have Donna here singing another song with us. Thank you, Donna, and welcome. Donna, you need to unmute yourself. Oh, now you're there. Cool.
All right. This is my favorite Tibetan bowl.
Shivaya. I fall. Your light is the only way. Your light is the only take me home. Your light, take me home. Your light, home. Your light, oh mama, oh mama, Shivaya. Thank you, Donna DeLory. I'm going to now continue with this beautiful energy that Donna has created with her music. And I'd like everybody to just stay in this container that she has created with us through this beautiful sound. And at this time, when everything is so unknown on the outside, we have a wonderful opportunity to come inside and really develop our inner core strength and the muscle that allows us to go inside and outside more easily, so that we can always come back to this place of home, which is really in our hearts. And at first it doesn't happen so quickly. It's a muscle that you have to develop just by practice. So I'm just going to take you on a little guided meditation now to help to anchor that inside your heart. So I'd like you to all close your eyes and just start to become aware of your breath as you're inhaling and exhaling. Be aware where your breath is going inside your body, and expand the spaces where you feel that it is lacking. And as you breathe, listen to the sound of your breath. Listen to it like the waves gently lapping on the beach. As the waves come in, feel your diaphragm relax and open. And as you exhale, feel that energy flow up into your heart. Just following your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Allow the sound of your breath to be loud. We often hold our breath as a way to not be seen or to try to become invisible. It's impossible to be invisible. We're here. We're embodied and we're in this earthly plane. And now become aware of the ground that your feet are on. And allow, as you inhale, that you're drawing the energy up from the center of the heart of the crystalline Mother Earth, drawing that energy all the way up, magnetizing it into your heart. So you feel yourself connected to the central heart of the Mother. As you inhale and exhale, spiraling down. And inhaling. And bringing your awareness as you inhale to the golden, beautiful sun above our heads. And inhale, drawing that liquid spiral, golden energy down through your crown, down into the center of your heart. Inhaling, magnetizing that energy into the center of your heart. And allowing these energies, these earthly and heavenly energies, to mingle and create alchemy and activation inside your heart. Inhaling at the same time, drawing those spirals up from the central crystalline heart of the Mother and down from the golden central sun. And you see a little heart-shaped jewel appear in the center of your chest. And that is the magnet. That is what magnetizes this energy. This is also represented by your thymus gland, which governs your immune system. So inhaling and exhaling, activating this sacred crystalline jewel, this pure quartz rose crystalline jewel inside your heart. And now as you exhale, let that energy flow through your entire body and out through every pore of your body. Inhaling, allowing that light to permeate every cell inside your body, activating, nourishing, and raising the vibrational frequency of every cell, strengthening your immune system and raising your own cellular DNA frequency. And then exhale that out through every pore on your skin. Inhaling. And now bring your awareness back to your heart. And as you exhale, feel your heart connecting to everybody around you, your loved ones. And then all breathe together and feel your hearts expand. And then inhale, all of you together, and feel your hearts expand to your entire community. And breathe together. And spread this out now, inhaling as an entire country and culture, reaching everybody's heart. And exhale together, spreading that energy from country to country around the world, enfolding the entire globe in this beautiful vibrational frequency of love and light and healing. Imagine. And feel this vibrational frequency and see all the beautiful souls all around the world smiling, breathing fresh air, liberated, free, no more enslavement. A new paradigm, a new world, a new plan for this plane, this earth plane, this beautiful jewel in the galaxy. And inhaling, and allow that energy to radiate out to space, letting all the celestial beings know that we're here and we're ready, and we concur. We're ready to become a sacred planet. We're just practicing, but we will succeed. And then very gently, when you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes. And open your eyes to a new paradigm.
Thank you, Diana. How beautiful. Thank you so much. This is such an important part of what we do together here. When we began this, we began for the mass meditation for peace, and meditating, connecting, meditating together, connecting our hearts together is so important right now. And Diana, thank you for that beautiful meditation. Diana not only helped us get so many of the speakers here today, she is the Executive Program Director of Conscious Life Expo, so she puts that together every year. So not only is she obviously a spiritual leader and a healer, she's on the case bringing in the new paradigm. So thank you. And thank you to everyone at Conscious Life Expo for assisting us in growing this offering out to so many people now. So that was totally beautiful, Diana. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to bring it back to Ken, who's going to introduce a wonderful woman for a wisdom jewel.
All right, this is Kimberly Meredith. Now, Kimberly, she's a medical intuitive. She is gifted by so many great God, basically, so God gifted. And she can scan using her eyes. She does the blinking thing, which if anybody's experienced this, you blink it. The one eye tells you yes, and one eye says no, maybe not so good. And she uses that as her tool to, you know, scan people and be able to tell what's wrong with them. And she never wants you to tell you what's wrong with you. You don't tell her what's wrong with you, she tells you. So she's a wonderful healer and been part of our show for the last few years, and we'll be speaking again at the New Living Expo, hopefully in 10/10/2020. But take it away, Kimberly.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. I'm very honored to be a part. I feel right now, during this time in history of what we're going through, and what I've experienced. Thank you, Ken, for introducing me. Thank you, Deborah, for having me, and Scott. What I can give you right now, in just the few minutes that I'm on, is a time to tap into our feminine energy, the feminine divine, and to understand that even though there's such great sadness going on, that we are moving into, as we're speaking of, a higher ascension and an awakening. And in this time, we can feel great pain as we are, and we're witnessing a lot of sadness. And I'm not going to get into all of that. What I'm going to get into is the good news. And the good news is that as we're moving into, in the next few months, these shifts, going into the higher paradigm, the higher consciousness, the higher awakening that's happening to us, the more miracles we're going to see, the more ascension that is going to happen. And it's already had been happening, but what has happened is that we're seeing more of the third dimension. And so it had to happen this way. And so what is going to be happening is more of these miracles and more of the ascension, more of the paradigm is going to be exploding. And so what I'd like to share right now is something that I wrote and channeled, because everything I write is channeled. And I'd like to share this with you all and everyone. It's a channeled prayer, and it's called My Ascension, Your Ascension into the Fifth Dimensional Awakening. And it goes like this. I am fully and freely and willingly accepting this shift into this new awakening, into a fifth dimensional and beyond. In this fifth dimensional shift, I know that I can trust and fully and freely witness miracles. Because in the miracle, I know that I can receive the love. And in the love, I know I choose not to have fear, because in the fear, I will be staying in a third dimensional frequency. I know that I can have intimacy with God, because the intimacy is in the God consciousness. When fully trusting God, I am in a fifth dimensional state of God consciousness. I can hear and feel and have a shift in everything. And my life is easy and more abundant. Through the divine, my gifts will fully and be more freely awakened and easily more accessed when I am in this higher dimension. I am healed easier in the fifth dimension. I love more freely in the fifth dimension. I feel peace, love, and joy in the fifth dimension. I can trust easier in the fifth dimension. My mind is quickly overcome by the negative third dimensional mind chatter when I'm in the fifth dimension. My mind is automatically focused on the present moment with no effort required when I'm in the fifth dimension. My mind is simply a state of being. I automatically live in the fifth dimension. My heart is open when I'm in the fifth dimension. I'm a child of God. This is what they want, the guides, the omnipresent, meaning this is what is supposed to happen. God is in control. So no matter what we speculate, this is what was supposed to be. We are right where we're supposed to be right now, building a stronger relation with the omnipresent. All the vitamins, all the medicine, and everything that, like Billy Carson was saying, everything is happening right on time. So building the God frequency right now, the spiritual medicine is what we need at the moment. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. God bless you.
Yes, and Kimberly is an amazing healer. She does fifth dimensional healing, and you can see her at New Living Expo, Conscious Life Expo, or connect with her directly. Thank you. That was so beautiful, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Yes, love to you. And I just want to thank everyone for being here, showing up, and all the participation with Conscious Life Expo. This began as a little seed thought as we were helping our friend Fantuzzi, and it has grown. This is our 6th show. And every week we do a different theme, bring in different partners, and it grows and it flourishes because it's really something we all want to do is get together and share our wisdom, our music, our thoughts, and really affirm a new paradigm. And next week, our collaborative partners is going to be Global Coherence Pulse, and we're going to be featuring Greg Braden, Nassim Harriman. We're going to have Heart Math on with Roland McCready. We're going to have Minosh with who performs with David Pramal. So we're going to continue to expand and share a lot more incredible information, people, and speakers. So it's been really exciting. And we're hoping to go till the end of the month at least, and potentially continue on from there. And so we welcome your support in doing this. Now, we're doing this in the new paradigm where we are using the new paradigm gifting economy. And from that, we are gifting you this show. And then we request that from your heart, you gift back to us in our GoFundMe. And we're going to continue to gift that and gift to some organizations that we feel are really helping this crisis right now and where you're doing things. And so this gifting keeps rippling and goes into all the people that these organizations help. So this is a really amazing way to do it. So we invite you to donate to the GoFundMe tonight and share whatever your heart to support this broadcast coming to you in the future and for our nonprofits. And I want to invite Ken Kaufman on because he's been the one person on our team that is working with the nonprofits to see who we can share this money that's coming in from you that can go back into the community. So Ken, can you share the two nonprofits that we've chosen for this broadcast?
This week we have ASHEL who's going to be playing some music with us, and both of them are going to talk for a minute. But before that, we want to share that we have a Facebook group. And in our Facebook group is a chance for everyone to share who they would like to see on the show, what possible nonprofits that you might see that use the money that is doing great work with COVID-19. So that's a place to go to put your information in, and then we'll research it from there. And then also,
Ken, we're having an audio problem with you, unfortunately. Your computer's kind of going in and out.
Okay.
So, if you
is this any better? I don't have
that. Is better. Yeah, that is better. Yeah.
So so you heard we have the Facebook page where you can add your comments and suggestions. Then we have in the GoFundMe campaign, we're offering some gifts for the people who donate. If you donate $44 or more, you'll get a mention. Scott will mention your name on air and you'll get an acknowledgement. If you do $77, we're offering 2 3-day passes for the expo. And then if you do $100, you'll get a love coach session by one of the love coaches. And it's a $200 donation. You'll get the official Scott CATOMAS as your coach for 1 hour. So that's the prizes that we're giving away with your donation. And we are, I think we're going to talk about the nonprofits a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So Ashina is going to talk next, and she's going to talk a little bit about the community's People's Community Medics mission, and they provide basic skills to people who need help with medical supplies and getting them any medical supplies they need, or if they need to go to the grocery store. She's doing all sorts of things with her small group that she has. It's about 10 people. And she's going to talk for a minute about it. And so here she is. Michelle, you want to unmute.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sharina, and I'm one of the co-founders of People's Community Medics. And I am so ecstatic that you invited me on to speak about what I've been doing all of my life. All of my life, I grew up with my parents, being first responders in the community as needed, whether it was needing food, whether it's taking care of children that didn't belong to my parents, or whether it was, like I said, feeding, or whether there was a car accident, a house fire, all of that. I seen my parents do that as I grew up through life. And actually, really, my mom is really was a very inspiration to me growing up with saving people. She used to run to car accidents, people having seizures, people be gunshots. I've seen her respond to all. And so 2011 is when I launched People's Community Medics with one of my very good friends, Leslie Taisha Phillips. We're out of the Oscar Grant Committee. And so we decided to save our people, to train our people how to survive gunshot wounds, bleeding trauma, seizures, how to be first responders before the EMTs arrive. As time went on, the list grew longer of what we needed to train our people on. And basically we learned and we trained ourselves to have a curriculum. I'm getting teary-eyed, I'm sorry. A curriculum to save our people, to create survival skills, such as in times like this right now. So right now through this COVID, we are outreaching. I am constantly in contact with other organizations, money out of my pocket, my own pocket. I buy supplies. I buy food and I donate food. I'm a single parent of 4. My children and I, we get out here, we train our community on how to treat each other, how to love each other, how to just adding community love into to our people. Because I feel like if you teach a kid on how to save a life, they won't take a life. And so through People's Community Medics, I have been very, very blessed to be in a lot of classrooms from 2011 up until now, training our little children on how to love each other. And I give them to pledge to not do no harm.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much, Sharina. Thank you very, very much. And I'm glad, I'm glad that we're going to be able to take some of the GoFundMe money and support your organization. And we're going to hear a little bit later today, a little bit later tonight, we're going to hear from ASHEL, who is going to tell us about his organization. We're going to see some photographs, and then ASHEL's actually going to be our final musical performer. But for right now, I'm going to put the spotlight on Sharina for one more moment. It's just to all twinkle her and appreciate the incredible work that this woman is doing in her community. And we're really grateful that we can support you. Thank you. Ah, wow. Well, coming back now to kind of our program, this is a really special moment. It really is an incredible spiritual community that we all belong to. And there's a lot of new people, like we're just getting to know Sharina and MYEKA and TJ. And then some of us have been friends for a long, long time. And of all the people in this room, actually the person I've known the longest is DANNION BRINKLEY. And I first met DANNION in 1994 when I helped book him on a TV show that I was a producer on called The Other Side. And over the next several years, I had the blessing to do several different television shows and segments with DANNION, got to know him. And I want to share with you a very true story that I experienced with him that was really quite extraordinary. DANNION, as most of you may know, had an amazing series of near-death experiences. And it turned his whole life around as he learned, as he saw the bigger picture of life and love and what we're here to really do. And he dedicated his life to supporting people, especially people in hospice. Well, we did a particular television segment with DANNION one time where we went out to the VA hospital in Long Beach, and we were in the ward with all the patients that were terminal. And one of those patients was a young man. He was, I'm guessing, late 20s, early 30s. And I interviewed him and spoke to him, and he was terrified of dying. He had AIDS. This was a long time ago. It was before there was the current treatment that we have for AIDS. And he was on his deathbed. And he didn't believe in heaven. He didn't believe in God. And was just terrified to die. And DANNION came in, and I'm going to put the spotlight back on DANNION as I share the second part of the story. And DANNION just asked this young man, can I hug you? Let me show you something. DANNION hugged this young man. We've got the camera running, right? And the hug went on and on and on. And that was back in the days where we had to do videos. So we had to change the video because it went on and on and on. And the hug went on for about a half an hour. Finally, DANNION pulls back. And this young man is just in tears flowing down his face. It's like, oh my God, I saw heaven. I saw heaven. It's beautiful. And Dannion has served thousands of people in that way, going into hospice, holding their hand when needed, helping them to see, because Dannion has the gift of sight, and helping them to see the bigger picture, helping them to remember who they truly are. So we are very, very blessed to have Dannion Brinkley in our world and in our life. He has served us all so long in so many ways. So tonight we're kind of honoring him. And to share a little bit more, I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Deborah, who I believe is then going to introduce Quicksilver. You're on, Deborah.
Great, yes. So I'm going to introduce Robert Quicksilver, who's going to come on later and do some poetry. But just to acknowledge Robert, he is the producer of Conscious Life Expo. And if you understand what a role that is to hold all that and hold all that energy, it's amazing. So thank you, Robert. And I know Dannion is a big part of Conscious Life Expo, which is why you are here to introduce Dannion. So I'll turn it over to you now. And here you go to introduce Dannion Brinkley.
Okay, great. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Scott. So I wrote a small little intro for Dannion, who probably doesn't need any intro to any of the people here in this community, but I had some fun with it, so let's just see. So, okay, ready? Hi, Dannion. So the first time Dannion was born was in July of 1950, I guess. That's what the Wikipedia said. The second time Dannion was born was in 1993. And he wrote a New York Times bestseller about that being reborn at that time. Saved by the Light, by the way. The third and fourth time, I think I got this a little mixed up. The third and fourth times Dannion was born was in the late 90s. And it was almost like commonplace. You know, I kind of lost track, really, of how many times you've been born and reborn. You know? So besides for the books and the movies and the workshops, you know, and the friendship that we all have towards you, I'm sure that we all have this experience. Dannion also founded what Scott or Deborah was saying, the Twilight Brigade, which has helped thousands and thousands of veterans, transition. And, you know, besides for him being a person, that accomplishment really is is even more important in some way, I think. So anyway, so that was my introduction to Dannion Brinkley. God bless you, Dannion. We love you. We all love you so much. It's true.
Thank you, Robert. Cue.
Okay.
You're live. You're on. Okay, so it is great to be here, everybody. And I so appreciate seeing Deborah and Scott, Robert and Kenny and Diana, and so many of the people that are family to me, as we are shut in and being manipulated and controlled. I'd like to tell everybody something. I have waited 44 years for now. As most of you who know me, and if you don't know me, I have always had this battle cry that the souls of humankind would be fought in healthcare. The battle for the souls of humankind would be fought in healthcare. Well, that legendary time is not the future, it is today. So the paradigm that we're waking up in, no question. I wrote about this in 1976, and I put it in the book that Robert just mentioned, Saved by the Light, where what happened, what I thought were markers to find my way in my life, what I think I was sent back to do, turned out to be visions of the future. We are living in a paradigm that we're waking up that is completely created to control us, everybody. And I would say that almost everything that we're hearing about is not all true. We are great, powerful, and mighty spiritual beings. We were chosen, and we chose to be here now. And this experience was part of the experiences you chose to be a light bearer, where you would hold instead of so much me, protecting, hoarding. You would look at the people around you and figure out how to absorb service to them and looking after each other like we're trying to do this evening in this community. It becomes important for this community to grow in conscious people, caring and loving and supporting each other. Because as this transition and this new paradigm awakening we in, we must be in control of it. We must be focused. We must stay conscious that whatever it is they're telling us that is required of us to do, that takes control of identifying ourselves, we refuse to do it. Because the biggest thing that I saw in 1975 being struck by lightning was how this chip implant business and this cryptocurrency implant business would become the way that could be of the greatest value and use in healthcare, but it could be used as a system to control us and make us almost like AI robots. So as we sit here, chosen time and place in our existence, place that we dedicated and committed to come to best that we could possibly be to keep the light lit. And what Debbie and Scott and Diana and Robert and Kenny and all the team that puts this together is in this evening on these Saturday nights to keep that light lit for each of us. So what I ask of each of you is to pay attention to your breathing. You have to understand to be frightened in such a way that it's so propagandized that we're all become so frightened of dying. Well, no matter how many times Robert said it, I've been 4 times, everybody, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. It does not happen the way you think it happens. And to even be more specific, everybody, it does not happen. It's a lunacy, it's a trick in this deception toward us to control anything out of fear, to control.
It looks like Dannion just froze. And so we're having one of those moments where, as our beloved brother Fantuzzi would say, blessed are the flexible, for they shall never break. Hopefully Dannion will come back. We're going to, in a moment, go to Terry Fader, his good friend from Las Vegas. But I want to let people know, if you want to hear more about Dannion, my organization, Love Coach Academy, we do 2 webinars a day at 9 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening Pacific time. And on Tuesday night, this upcoming Tuesday night, we're going to have Dannion as our special guest at 6 o'clock Pacific time for an entire hour. So you will get an hour of Dannion sharing his wisdom and his wit. That's Tuesday night. It's all free online, 6 p.m. Just go to Love Coach Academy and get the information. And I'm not going to introduce Terry Fader. I just met Terry, and he's a really special soul. Many of you might have seen him when he won America's Got Talent. He's got millions of followers. He's an amazing guy, and it's rather extraordinary what he does. So, Terry, I am so grateful to have you with us. Take it away.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you great.
Okay, good, good. I was so wrapped up in what Dannion was saying, and I love him so much. And I met Dannion about a year after I won America's Got Talent. I've been working with military and first responder charities ever since, well, as far back as I can remember. And I was at a charity in LA, and I met Dannion, and I had read his book and was a huge fan of his and seen the movie back with Eric Roberts. And so I was just kind of stunned to meet him. And one of the things that attracted me most to him as a person was his servant's heart, the heart of a servant. And I think that's really key to this paradigm shift for all of us. If we really want to grow and become the human beings that we're meant to be, we have to serve. And so we want to make sure we honor those who are dedicating their lives to serving us and others. And so what a proud thing it is that Dannion asked me to do this. And so now Dannion texted me a couple weeks ago and said, I would love to hear you do Sam Cooke. I release videos on my YouTube. It's youtube.com/Terry Fader and facebook.com/Terry Fader. And I release songs. So he texted me a couple of weeks and said, I'd love to hear you do A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. And I'm gonna try to get this started here for you. I hope you can hear it. And my friend Julius is gonna be helping me with this. So. This is Julius. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living. I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me go. It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I said, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking back down on my knees. Oh, there've been times when I thought I couldn't last long. But now I think I need the carry. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Julius, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Terry, can you do one more for us? That was just so cool.
I actually have another one planned, and I got to get this all set up now. So I have to figure out how to do this because I only have one hand when I.
Take your time. You know. Oh, look who's here.
This is Winston, the impersonated turtle. If you saw me on America's Got Talent, can I tell him? Yeah, I won America's Got Talent. You did, wow. Yeah. And by the way, he won America's Got Talent. I couldn't have done it. He did his impression of Roy Orbison, crying over you. So that's his, but that's what we did to win it. But the very first song we ever sang together, I think is very incredibly appropriate for tonight. Can I tell him what it is? Yeah. It's, well, I do my impression of, I hold Kermit the Frog here. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Okay, Terry, you sing like Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong? Yeah, okay.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you.
I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. There ain't much more than I'll never know.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, you finish.
What a wonderful world.
Thank you, Scott.
That was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Terry. It's just, what a wonderful world you've reminded us of. Dannion, I don't know what quite happened to you. I'm putting the spotlight on you for a sec. Just I let everybody know that they're going to have a full hour with you and I having an intimate conversation online Tuesday night, so they can hear a lot more from you. Anything you want to say to Terry?
And I also recommend this too. Listen, everybody, we have planned to be here. We were chosen and we chose to be here at this time. So no matter what it is, as we awaken in this paradigm, the divine believes there is nobody better than us to make the in the shift that we see coming. Lose the fear, embrace the power. I'd like to say something that's important, because what David and Elizabeth do in their foundation, they look for people with boots on the ground making a difference, not big corporations. Watching Miss Thomas, what Beth said, I need more information about her. And I think that they want to contribute and support her. Would you guys like to say something really quick?
Well, yes, our heart really goes out to people who are making a difference, boots on the ground, really in there and giving their heart out to help make this world a better place. And so we do want more information about Mrs. Thomas, because that's what we like to support, people who are getting in there. And right now, we feel it's really important that we focus on being of service and how can we help and who can we help. And that really just helps us to focus on what is important right now.
David, let's go.
Yeah, we've had several successes with our charities. We sponsored a musical group that was giving drums to abused women in Iraq, and going actually there during these hostility situations. And we've helped the sloths. We built sloth bridges. So it's pretty cool what we've been able to do, and it really doesn't take that much. So
what it really means is this: hey, everybody out in the family, let's pull together and think of things that we can care about, because the importance of when crisis comes like we have now, the importance is being spiritual beings. These are the challenges we were designed and sent here to do. Please come to Scott's program tomorrow night so I can give us step-by-step guidance. Thanks, everybody. I love each of you.
Thank you so much, Dannion, and what a wonderful surprise to have your friends there with you as well. Thank you. And again, that's going to be Tuesday night, actually. It's going to be Tuesday night that we will have Dannion at 6 o'clock Pacific time on the Love Coach Academy Compassionate Talk Show. And what a perfect lead in, I just took a look at our GoFundMe, and I want to thank all of you who have just contributed. We've gotten a lot of contributions in the last hour and a half. Queenie, Evelina Rose, Carol, somebody named Anonymous keeps donating every week lots and lots of money. So thank you, Mr. Anonymous or Miss Anonymous. I want to acknowledge a couple of people that have made very significant donations. Marcy Scheimoff. Marcy, I would love for us to have you as a guest on one of our shows as a speaker. So let's definitely talk about that. It's good to see you and thank you for your donation. Stephanie Sutton, thank you very much, Stephanie. And Stephanie, as you donate, I recognize that you donated, I think also on behalf of Patrick. And we remember you and we think of Patrick with so much love in our hearts. Thank you, Stephanie. And Jay Mayer, who donated a tremendous amount last week, has done it again. Jay, thank you for the incredible support you provide us. And all donations are appreciated, whether it's $5, $500, or $2,500. Those are all numbers that I'm looking at, by the way. So thank you, everybody. We are a community, and it's beautiful, whether it's David Wolfe telling us how to build our immune system and eat right, whether it's Billy reminding us of how to use this time, the wisdom jewels, so much wisdom, such a beautiful community that we're all blessed to be a part of. And let's go back to my partner, Deborah, to take it over. You're up, Deborah.
And I want to personally thank everyone as well. This is money that's coming through us and back into communities. So it's really, really wonderful. Thank you. And we have the link in the chat room, but also if you're on Facebook or watching this later, you can just type in GoFundMe for the Global Peace Tribe. And that's how you can find our GoFundMe on the web. And now I get to introduce again the person who is responsible for Conscious Life Expo, Robert Quicksilver. He began it in 2002 and has been producing it every year. And if you've ever been to Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles in February, it's an amazing expo. I think it's one of the top. I go to it every year. I would never miss it. And I just want to honor Robert because being at the center of that vortex and making and being responsible for that to happen and attracting such an amazing team that pulls it off for him. It's really beautiful every year with the top speakers. And if you were in LA driving over and you looked in the LA Airport Hilton, you probably see all this light coming from the Airport Hilton on that weekend when Conscious Life Expo happened, because that's really what happens. It really raises the light, the consciousness and the frequency. So we're happy to have him join us and do some poetry because Robert also is a poet. So thank you so much, Robert. And I want to give
thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. So, okay, thank you for all of that. That was very nice. Thank you, Deborah. Pleasure to be here. So I have this one poem and I'm just going to read it. Okay. It's only like a minute, so it'll go fast. Okay. It's called Let Rise the Real You. That's the name of it. O man, ye child God of immortal being, know ye not the truth of inner seeing? Know ye not the glory and joy of creation, vainly praying for some future salvation? Do you know you are saved? Do you know you are free? Do you know that our being, it vibrates with God, that our light and our love diminish not for a moment? We are sacred and holy each life way we trod. Oh man, we are blind, we are fools to forget this, to choose the wrong dream and the nightmares ensue. Awake, man, awake, the vast universe is calling. From the depths of our being, let rise the real you. My poem.
Wow. Thank you, Robert.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you for all your work.
Okay.
For
What
so
a lot of
many
fun.
years
Okay, thank you.
and continuing.
Okay. This is a great event. It's really great. And it's just really, again, Scott's just making it work. It's really exciting. It's really great.
Thank you. Again, it's all family. You know, it's this beautiful community.
It's like
and
that, right.
whether, you know, and it was, of course, we're so used to being with each other in person at the Conscious Life Expo, at the New Living Expo. And thank God for Zoom, and thank God that we're able to, from our own home, to all commune and connect and remember the love. Yeah.
Right.
But it sure will be nice when we can all be hugging each other again, or
That's
at least doing something like this at your show. Looking forward to it.
Totally. You know, maybe, you know, sooner or later.
Yeah, absolutely. Deborah, I think it's time for some more music.
Yes, and I'm really happy to invite back the amazing Elijah Ray for another song and set. So thank you so much, Elijah Ray.
Oh, thank you, family. So inspiring to feel the collective field just getting more and more juicy. And I just want to just offer another dewdrop of compassion into this field. This is a song from an upcoming album called Compassion, called More Each Day.
Before you go, look me in the eyes, and I will show you paradise. And if you're leaving tomorrow, let me say that I will love you, oh, more each day. If you're leaving tomorrow, let me Don't you worry, babe, about your path. I'll walk beside you whenever you ask. And yes, I know we must go our separate ways, but I'm still gonna love you. If I could sing it to you a million ways, I'm gonna love you more each day, more each day, oh Lord, more each day. Thank you, family. Much love and aloha to all beings at this time. May compassion reign. May love be remembered.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Let's all give a really good twinkling. That's just exquisite music, just such high vibration sound, takes us so high. It's really amazing just to watch everybody. You know, it's like I go from one person to the next, and I think we all are experiencing just like each person, whether they're singing or speaking or doing ventriloquism. It's so beautiful. What a beautiful community we get to be a part of. What beautiful divine emanations we each are. And I get to introduce a very unique emanation of the one eternal beloved. This is Shamanatrix Missy Galore.
Hi, everybody.
You've seen her at the expos, you've seen her at the festivals, weaving her magic, and Missy's got a wisdom jewel for us tonight.
Indeed. Well, greetings, family. I'm grateful to be galactivating goodness with thee in this inspirational constellation of love light dedicated to the betterment of all life. Welcome to the transformation of our Homo Luminous incarnation. As the shift of ages dissolves and reforms, what's at stake is what's being born. And that's a personal choice that we make with every choice, every breath that we take. So I invite you to join me in a simple technique I use to infuse heart-brain coherency. We know from Heart Math Institute that meditation is great, but we gain even better results when we cultivate coherent states. What does it mean? Resilient, vibrant health and happiness. And we get there by generating good vibes with conscious breath. Coherence is what gives crystals their luminosity. The more the molecules synchronize, the more powerful that we be. So let's attune our hearts, living life as art with a beautiful kindness and love lights. And when we're feeling out of sorts, may this technique restore your love light. I call it the heart kiss breath. And there's infinite ways to play and pray. I invite you to put your hand on your heart with some deep, sweet breaths, giving thanks to the physicality that houses our consciousness and the great spirit that unifies us all. and love light breath. Breathe into your heart, receiving this gift of life, and kiss the center of your heart. And as you exhale, share this heart bliss kiss with loving spark. Greet your inhale as a kiss from creation. Share your exhale as heart kiss loving vibrations. Greeting that inhale as the kiss of creation. Sharing that exhale, loving vibrations. Because we are the rainbow warriors. We are the lights of love. We are that we are. Living transmissions of love. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We don't have to wait anymore. The time is now. We know how. Live in revolution. So in this momentous time, let us be that galactivating goodness that seeds the cosmic yum of revolution in this beautiful way that we play and pray. Grateful to share with you on this day. May the love we share radiate everywhere. Viva Levolution.
Thank you so much, Missy. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. You know, there was a very special online event that took place last week. And as we kind of move into our next speaker, I just want to acknowledge again all the different cultures, all the different things that are going on.
You know what? I looked creepy because I changed the light to more orange and it didn't quite work.
And so we just learned how human we all are, right? How incredibly perfectly human that moment just was. Let's just all take a breath. And appreciate how perfectly human we all are. All right, I'm going to try this again. There was an event, which I'm going to let Diana tell us a little bit about. So Diana, I'm going to put the spotlight on you, but I'm also going to pull up the screen share. You can tell us a little bit about what happened last week.
Oh, yes. Well, that we, Emmy Shanti, this really beautiful, amazing, well-renowned speaker and spiritual teacher who hails from Argentina. She's very well known in the Hispanic community throughout the world, and I'm very blessed to work with her on a number of projects. One of them is we have a sacred land travel, so we travel to different sacred sites, and at the moment, unfortunately, it's obvious we can't travel anywhere. So we started something called Portals to Awakening, and it is about traveling inwards. So now we're focusing on traveling inwards. So this is what we're going to be doing now until we can take people back to the pyramids and Machu Picchu. And yes, so we did a really, we were very graced with the presence of some beautiful monks and shamans from Peru. And we did a ceremony for the Wesak Full Moon Festival, which you can see here. And somehow, just like sand paintings do, it disappeared from Facebook completely. So I wanted you to know that you can now see it on YouTube at Portals to Awakening. There's a YouTube channel. Scott will put the link in the chat. And if you enjoy meditations and going inward and deeper and powerful spiritual teachers, I think you'll really enjoy this. But I really, it's really special to have Emmy here. She also is the producer of the Hispanic program at the Conscious Life Expo. Since 2010, she has brought the Spanish community into the Conscious Life Expo. She produces the entire event. She does everything. She's a powerhouse, and I just feel so so happy that you're here, Emmy. Thank you. Emmy's going to share some pearls of wisdom with us. She's just a beautiful, beautiful being.
Wow, thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. And a second, I wanna try to hear. So thank you, so beautiful and wonderful to be here, to be part of this beautiful community. So just we are all together here, and that's beautiful, and that is really a miracle. So I want to acknowledge the miracle of life that is happening right now in this eternal moment, in this presence. So listen to the vibrations. We're gonna inhale, exhale. This beautiful light energy that is here with us at this time, here and now. To acknowledge the presence that we are, to acknowledge the I am in this moment, beautiful moment. That is the only thing is real, this beautiful moment. And thank you, Diana, for that wonderful presentation. So beautiful. I want to acknowledge you because you do a fantastic job at the Conscious Life Expo. And I am also honored to be with such amazing people that Daniel Brinkley, and also I see David Wilcock there somewhere. And I don't know, so many, Donna DeLory, I mean, everybody here, Robert Quicksilver, the producer of the show. And I am really honored to be with all of you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert, to bring me at the Conscious Life Expo. That was in 2005. So this is really an amazing time, because at that time we opened a door to the Hispanic community to bring, I am from Argentina, right? So bringing the South to the North, bringing the South to the North, this beautiful energy that is really pulsing from the Andes, that's the, we're gonna say, galactic tribe of the guardians of the earth, the shamans, the medicine women and the medicine men that they're pulsing in the Peru and Bolivia and Mexico. It is just an amazing thing. I'm really honored to bring the Hispanic community as the Kundalini awakening from the South and raising and coming here to this wonderful vortex that is California. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am very honored to be part of the Conscious Life Expo. So what is this new paradigm? What is this new paradigm? A paradigm, we all know, is a revolutionary new concept, or an idea, a way of doing things that replaces the old beliefs or the way of doing things. So what we know, and this is the paradigm, is life is what you believe it is. Life is what you believe it is. What you want to believe life is, right? So we choose to believe in the ancient cultures, the Mayans, who brought this amazing wisdom to the earth. And this is related with the 2012. Remember the 2012? And I'm really grateful to Jose Arguelles that he brought this amazing cosmic knowledge to earth to remember that we're closing a cycle of darkness in the 2012, and we are moving to a new cycle of light, closer to the galactic sun of the universe, Hu Nav Ku. So we are going into a higher vibration because we're receiving more light. The light is shining. We're receiving more light, and light is information. Light is the essence of love. That's why unity, because unity is love. It's just not the separation consciousness anymore. And we closed this cycle in 2012. And after that, it is a time to purify yourself. It's a time for redemption. It's a time to forgive. It's a time to let go. It's a time to really reconnect with the essence of who you are. Did you did the work? Are you reconnecting with your essence, with yourself, or you still identifying yourself with your ego? So this is the time for a great, amazing awakening. And not only the Mayans, also the Vedanta philosophy, they talk about Kali Yuga, the last like 6,000 years too, and we are at the end of the Kali Yuga. So we're really closing. We're at the end of the era of Pisces and going to the Aquarius. So please open to the light, because we're receiving so much information, so much beauty, so much light. It's amazing. So open to the light. And this is not for me. This is not for you. This is for all of us, because we are one. And this is the new paradigm. It's not just duality consciousness. You did something to me, I'm angry with you, and it doesn't matter. Jealousy and envy and resentment has to go, because we're a family. We're the family of light. That's why we're doing this work. And you know, I was born like this, as you see me. It's not that I just have an awakening. I mean, that's what I did my whole life. This is my path. I am in a mission here, like many of us. That's why we are doing this work. So it's time to remove the identification with who we think we are and really embody the light that we are, because we're powerful and we are beautiful and we are magical and we are eternal, so we don't never die. So this is beautiful, and we are the essence of the chi of the universe. I don't know, some people call it God, and some people call it Shekinah, and some people call it Elohim or Great Spirit, Wakantanka. Doesn't matter, right? Because we cannot name that. That is who we are. That's life, and that's love, and that's the essence of the truth that we are in our hearts. So it's time to open our heart to this new light that is shining. And the sun has lots of information. So open to the sun. Get at least, I don't know, 1 minute to be in the sun and receive that codes of light and information that they are there for us to receive right now, to awaken to the new level of information that is coming for us. This is amazing. Well, I was born in Argentina. I am not from Argentina, but I was born there. So, and producing this Hispanic program, bringing beautiful people from different countries, Latin countries, I wanna present one dear, dear, dear friend that she also supports the Hispanic program for a long, long time. And this is MABEL KATZ. She's amazing. She's my friend. She's an international acclaimed author, speaker, world peace ambassador. She is recognized as a leading authority of Ho'oponopono, or as she calls it in her books, the easiest way to happiness, peace, and abundance. She travels around the world, but right now, no, right? I guess she's not traveling now. So, but MABEL KATZ, she has so many people that love her. Like I am one of them, because she's an amazing human being. So thank you, MABEL, for your contribution to the awakening of consciousness, to the new paradigm in this world. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, Amy, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Robert, also for the invitation every year. Thank you, Diane, and thank you, all of you, because I know you from many, many years ago, Scott, I think, you know, from my beginnings. Well, I cannot say the same thing as Amy. I was not born like this. I used to be a tax accountant. And one day I woke up, my oldest son talked to me angry as I used to talk to him, frustrated as I used to talk to him. And he woke me up, thank God. And that day I started my search for happiness, my search for peace. I was looking for peace and happiness in my personal life. I thought my professional life I was doing okay. I was very successful back in Argentina as an accountant, and I was very successful here in LA also as an accountant, but my life changed. And thank God I opened my mind and I learned how to let go and trust. And that took me to do what I do today, that is traveling the world, sharing with other people what had helped me. And that is Ho'oponopono. I tried many things like we all do in our beginnings, but I had this little voice that said there has to be an easier and faster way. And I didn't buy into the drama or finding somebody to blame, you know, for my problems. So Ho'oponopono became like my philosophy of life. It's the only thing I practice. I respect all the philosophies. Ho'oponopono, you know, everybody thinks it's for everybody. No, it works for everybody, but it's not for everybody. We talk about 100% responsibility, so no, it's not for everybody. But I just want to make sure that you understand that responsibility is not synonymous of guilt. Yes, I'm not here to tell you you are guilty. No, no, no. You are responsible of all those memories that replay in your subconscious mind that show up as problems. And when we take 100% responsibility, we can really not only heal ourselves, but we can heal the world. Whatever gets erased from us, it gets erased from everybody. And as we now know, we are all family. So awakening and new paradigm, what a wonderful title, because isn't it what we are going through right now? Yes. And what an opportunity. Oh my goodness, how come we chose to be here in this moment? How exciting, how exciting. But as we know, it's up to us, you know, to bring more light, yes, to all the darkness that there is right now. We know that the pandemic is not about the virus, but it's about the fear. It's a fear pandemic. And it's up to us to let go. As we know, you know, fear takes you to the past. Yeah, the worry takes you to the future. And all we have is this present moment. And that's what Ho'oponopono helps us to live in the present. In the present, you can really change your life. It's just that thank you and the I love you is the showing the other cheek instead of resisting. Yes, we know that whatever you resist persists. But as Einstein said, we are very insane. We are very crazy people. We keep doing the same things, you know, expecting different results. Well, this is the time to change. This is the time to open our minds. This is the time to say thank you to the COVID for all the blessings, yeah, for all this opportunity that is giving us to grow, to reconnect with ourselves. Hopefully we are all doing our work, yes, during this quarantine. And I think it's really a blessing. There is something, and I would like to read something to you. It says, within the diseases that the earth will go through for the awakening of each soul, it was decided to opt for the softest and least painful option, and that is a virus. Other planets went through great natural disasters or catastrophes that in everyone's eyes were infinitely worse than an invisible disease like a virus. So I'm telling you guys, everything in our life is a blessing, you know, in disguise. Everything has a gift. And that's why we say thank you. Now in Ho'oponopono, it's not that you have to feel the thank you, because when in Ho'oponopono, when you say thank you, you are pressing the delete key instead of talking to the monitor. You know, the monitor cannot do anything. And we talk and talk and talk, and we don't know why things don't work. So it's just pressing that delete key. So I invite you, I have a gift for you, my first book, The Easiest Way. If you practice, it is the easiest way, that I promise. And we have a link there that is mabelkatz.com /book free. So go and find what I'm saying about the easiest way, but because there is an easier way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mabel, for all that wisdom and sharing so authentically. And here it is, the workshop where she does Ho'oponopono. She teaches all over the world. and she will put her website in the chat room as well so that you can connect with her.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very beautiful. And we have a few more offerings for you. We have another wisdom jewel, and a wisdom jewel is when we invite certain luminaries from our community to come on and give a transmission. And this being is someone I've known for a long time, and I can truly say he's a wonder man of the world. And he isn't awakening to the new paradigm. He lives in the new paradigm. He was born in the new paradigm. He's extremely accomplished for a young man. He has he has been a physicist, a system architect, a designer, and a developer for nearly 20 years, founding several educational and technologically oriented companies. And he's produced a lot of websites. He works with sovereignty, decentralization, and cryptocurrency. And he's been a featured speaker on future technology and unified physics in the White House and in United Nations. And you'll see him at conferences and festivals all over. And this is an amazing man who I truly love, Adam Apollo.
Thank you so much, Deborah. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here with you all tonight. I loved my time, by the way, at the Conscious Living Expo many years ago when I was there joining in as a speaker, and I do hope to return in the future. It's just such a beautiful and powerful community coming together right now at this time. And I want to really thank Mabel as well for what she just shared around hitting the delete key, clearing out the mind, cleansing out the field so we can really return to the center, because we're really in the center of a great storm right now, and it's a storm of change. And we can either get tossed around by the hurricane's flow, or we can find ourselves grounded and anchored, standing in the middle of the field and watching the changes happen, participating in them consciously, acting with intention, acting with love, acting with compassion. I want to thank EMY as well for sharing, because what she shared about these different lands and ancient peoples is deeply relevant to my life and my work. It's been my explorations in Egypt 3 different times, and in Peru, and some of the most beautiful ancient sites that are part of this civilization that clearly goes back before the end of the last ice age. And Mexico, that even under the 8 layers of all this reconstruction, we find a precision of geometry and mathematics that speaks to a higher level of understanding. And what I'd like to share with you tonight is about the changes in understanding that are paving the way for a new level of experience here on the planet now at this time. One of my deepest areas of interest since I was a teenager is unified physics, because as I discovered that I am an energetic being with an energetic body, and realized that I'm full of chi and capable of moving this field around me, I had to dive deep into physics to try to explain and understand this, and also to deal with the fact that I had never heard about this idea in my school ever, and that we're not teaching about this. And I started really wondering about that. And I recently just came across a great talk by Aaron Weinstein, who's a brilliant man. And in his recent talk, he was sharing about the academic world and the roadblocks that get placed in the academic world that restrict us from really moving into a new paradigm of thought in which our entire systemic understanding of how the world works and how things exist go through a transformation. And the reality is that the academic world, a lot of the highest level professors and writers and teachers, people that have been published, you know, in the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, have a lot of resistance due to their tenure and due to the process within the academic world, which favors, in a sense, containment within the existing working theories. But as Buckminster Fuller told us, you know, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And that's really what we're doing right now in the field of unified physics, is looking at the problems in the standard model of physics, the issues with the strong force, which has no backing fully behind its name and was basically made up to explain the force charge between nucleons, when in fact, at a deeper level, we can look at that same process as simply gravity. Quarks, which occur through busting atoms apart, evaporate in microseconds and don't exist, and we don't find them anywhere around the world. So why is our entire standard model of particle physics obsessed with something that only occurs through destruction? When we start looking at the things that are stable, like the proton, and we get in touch with that geometry, which is inherent to the fundamental stability and structure of nature, that actually gives rise to all of the beauty that we see in our own bodies, the trees outside, the plants, the cycles of the sun and the moon, the perfect mathematical proportions that put us in the place that we are and allow us to see not only how special we are, but how amazingly vast and diverse this universe truly is. Due to work from colleagues of mine like Nassim Haramein on quantum gravity and the holographic mass and his work with the electron, we now have the mathematics that definitively proves that the field is alive, that in fact all the parts of us and what makes us up as who we are connected and entangled with other parts of the universe all around us. We are part of a stream of the universe unfolding itself. We are experiencing ourselves as the universe, discovering our own nature. In my course, Quantum Geometry, which I recently released, I cover a lot of the fundamental essence of the structure of space-time itself and how these very simple geometries, which we actually find in different spiritual traditions around the world. We find them in the pentagram, in Wicca, and in indigenous cultures around the world. We find it in the hexagram, in the flower of life and Judaism. We find it in the heptagram, the seven-pointed star, and the seven sacred things in so many different traditions from Lakota to Christianity. And each of these very fundamental geometries, which we've known are part of who we are part of how consciousness unfolds itself, are also happen to be fundamental to the physics for how space-time itself works. So this is really about getting in touch with the technology of what we are. And just so you guys know, I'm just seeing Deborah on the screen, so I'm not sure I'm spotlighted anymore. Pause there for a second.
I want to say thank you, Apollo, so much for all that
it's
you
my
shared.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you
of course,
very much.
Of course, yeah, it really is about inner technology right now. And it's about really finding the bridge back to how the spirit of who we are can become matter, and leveraging technology as an augmentation system for us to better express who we are through the gifts that we bring into the world and becoming guardians of the planet to come.
You're muted, Scott.
So I want to take a minute to just do some acknowledgements. We've got ASHEL coming up, and he's a beautiful musician, and he also is one of the nonprofit organizations that we work with. But just before ASHEL comes up, I want to do some acknowledgements. And thank you, everybody who's watching. We still have 200 people in the webinar room, and hundreds, maybe even thousands, still watching on Facebook. So thank you, everybody. You know, Gaia TV has a relationship with the Conscious Life Expo, and they take all these wonderful speakers and then take the videos of what took place at Conscious Life Expo and run them on Gaia TV. And that includes the speakers we've seen today: Billy and Adam, DANNION, MABEL, David WOLFE, our entire Conscious Life Expo Hispanic program. It's all watchable and can be streamed on Gaia TV. So we really want to thank and acknowledge that wonderful organization. If you don't have Gaia yet, please check it out. And maybe Diana, you can put in the chat box how people can get Gaia TV. That would be wonderful. I also want to just acknowledge that the donations are continuing to come in, and it feels really, really wonderful. Thank you, Yamina, Genevieve, Philip, Laurie, Anonymous many more times, Stacy, Joanne. Thank you, Joanne, for a very generous contribution. And again, thanking Jay Mayer for just really providing so much support for us. We feel really, really grateful. And to introduce ASHEL, I'm going to turn back over to Kenny. And as you talked a little bit about your organization, ASHEL, I will show the photographs that you sent to us. Ken, put the spotlight on you.
Thank you. ASHEL is an amazing guy. I just feel so connected to him. His company takes surplus foods from like farmers markets and things that basically would be thrown away, and basically recycles those items into food and beverages for homeless, to people who are stuck at home, and make some beautiful things. I mean, look at these pictures, just fantastic. And he's been doing it all from the grace of God, and with our help tonight on that, we are just going to help support that. Essential Food and Medicine is the organization, that's the nonprofit. So take it over, ASHEL.
Hi, how's it going? First of all, just thank you so much for having us to be a part of this. It's a very high vibrational night. All our friends and buddies, Adam Apollo, Elijah Ray, everyone. Validate. Folks who are really
ASHEL, we're having a little bit of an audio issue. You're kind of coming in and out. So if you've got, by any chance, if you've got earphones, because your computer's having a little bit of a struggle. So if you could put on headphones, that would be wonderful, because we want to have the complete ASHEL experience. That'd be wonderful. And I'll just go back to the sharing the screen while we do this, and we can take a look at some of these photos of the work that his organization does, and they take and create juices. They're not just giving like canned food out to people; they're giving out juice, really alive food. And so it's a very important thing that you're doing. And thank you for delivering food kind of to the next level. Delivering live food, juice. I'm imagining that David WOLFE, if he's still with us, is smiling and appreciating that. So thank you. And waiting for ASHEL to come back on. Also, just want to remind everybody that at the end of our program, we have our Compassionate Connections Community Connection Time. And that's when people can come on and share for a minute, whatever is alive for them, but really we try to ask people, focus on what the theme of tonight's show means to you, awakening the new paradigm. So that's going to happen in a little bit. Obviously, tonight's show is definitely our marathon show. When we go back and we look at all these, this is going to be the long one. But just so many jewels and so much wisdom and so much beautiful music and inspiration. So thank you, everybody. And thank you to the 200 people that are still watching with us on the webinar and everybody on Facebook. Thank you. ASHEL, let's give it a try again.
Can you hear me?
Much better. Thank you very much.
Got the headphones on. Yeah, so I just want to again just say gratitude. Really great. And also see Serena from community medics, really demonstrating like the power of bringing people together, sourcing energy to transfer it on and being conduits for that energy. So we really appreciate the exemplification of that as well. So I have Sochil here from Essential Food and Medicine. Let's talk a little bit about the organization, and hopefully we can get into some music.
Yes, well, greetings to all of you. And as Ken and Scott were explaining, with Essential Food and Medicine, it's our mission to nourish the roots of people's health, especially in these trying times.
We just lost her. Something that you did, we lost her sound. We can't hear either of you right now. Can't hear you still.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. So as we were saying, the mission of EFAM is really to nourish the roots of people's health. And instead of focusing on a narrative and focusing on all of these messages that are being brought to us about what's not working, focusing on really getting people what they need to be strong, be healthy, and in good place by getting foods into their system. This is movies are meant, and these are going to unhoused folks here in our neighborhood in West Oakland. People who, before this crisis, were already dealing with health crisis because of where this is. So by addressing the needs, we want to, even into the future, be able to sustain health.
You know, unfortunately, the audio just isn't cutting it, and
it's
most of the people aren't able to hear it.
Yeah,
so.
it's okay. Yeah, so we'll post something in the chat and then, yeah, get thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, good for the music. So.
Right, and we are going to be very generous in giving to you from our GoFundMe, and thank you everybody for providing the GoFundMe. Thank you so much. We've got one more wisdom jewel left, and I'm going to turn it over to Deborah to introduce our final wisdom jewel for the night.
Great. And this is a wonderful friend and beautiful woman, Dr. Sarah LARSON. And she is a doctor and intuitive healer. She comes from third-generation palm reader, but she's actually a doctor. So she integrates the Eastern and Western medicine as a medical intuitive. And she uses her deeply rooted ancestral psychic training and has spent most of her life studying love and how to apply it practically towards healing. And you can see that in her beautiful face right now. And so we invited her to come in and share her wisdom as a wisdom jewel. Thank you for being with us, Sarah.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here, and I've had tears numerous times tonight, and I'm so grateful for every step that led us all here. And I love honoring our time and keeping it to 2 minutes. So I'm going to share very, very quickly. As human beings, our greatness lies not so much in being able to make the world. That is a myth of the atomic age, as it is being able to remake ourselves. And so this is that invite in such a beautiful way. I can't wait to share this with you. This is my hope and my prayer that we will take a vow for the earth. And this vow that we take for the earth was written by the 50th anniversary committee for Earth Day LA. And my heart and all of ours with Earth Day have been looking for a way to get this out and get as much help with sharing this, with translating this, with bringing this to the next place that it connects us as a global family. And right now it is Mother's Day in Mexico, in much of the world. I know where I was born, Pakistan, which means pure land. They celebrate Mother's Day today there as well. This care now vow. I share all of this from this perspective from the community of Earth Day LA. Is the 50th anniversary of what we created. Care now vow. We, the people of the living earth, belong to this planet. United as one family, we are powerful and connected, interdependent with all living beings, plants, animals, and nature. We embrace sky, mountain, forest, and the smallest microbiomes and the blooms of algae. From the deserts and the plains, including our villages and urban dwellings, from the streams, and the rivers to the deepest waters, of our oceans. We treasure our wondrous diversity, seen and unseen, interwoven beauty, all things great and small. I vow to do no harm for my mother planet. I take responsibility of how I use and restore natural abundance, upholding environmental and economic justice. I vow to do all in my power, to do my part in unified action to ensure the next 7 generations have a world in which we can live. And so that's at Dr. Sarah Larson. Let's see if I can pull where it's, let me stop. It's at drsarahlarson.com. We've got there for you this incredible Here Now vow. And we ask you to share it in the community and take the vow yourself, record it, share it on social media. Thank you so, so much. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you for that beautiful vow, and I hope that we all will print it out and read it. Well, we're almost coming to our conclusion. We are going to have a video with Bashar, who did a special channeling for us. And I'd like to turn over to Diana one more time. I want to thank you, Diana, for being such a wonderful co-producer, bringing so many of your friends and speakers with us. And any last acknowledgments or things you'd like to share?
Yes, I'm just so grateful that everybody came and participated. It feels like it's been a really powerful channeling into the world, and I've just been really moved by what everybody has said. I feel like everybody shared from a different aspect. It's been a very rounded sharing, and I think this will go out into the world and really be very supportive for people at this time. And so it was wonderful to participate. It was also nice to see David Wilcock and Beth Wilcock flash up on the screen for a moment. So thanks, guys. And so anyway, thank you. Yes, I'm just so deeply grateful to have participated. And thank you, everybody, for giving your time and coming and being on here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Diana. So we're going to show this video of Bashar, and I'll have either Deborah or Diana, one of you, maybe introduce it in a moment. But a reminder that after the video is our communication time, when those of you who are still with us, that are part of our community, that are in the webinar room, if you want to come on camera, I need you to let me know that, and I will promote you from being an attendee to a panelist. And we're going to start off by hearing from Jay Mayer, who has been very, very generous, extremely generous in supporting our community. So Jay, I'll bring you on. And anybody else who wants to come on, send me a message in the chat box. And
Scott, I'd like to tell people about next week.
Yes, please.
So what we're doing is bringing in communities and conferences and networks and showcasing all this beautiful work that so much of our community is doing. And next week, we're going to be co-hosting with Global Coherence Pulse, Teresa Collin, and she is bringing some of her community, which will be Greg Braden, awesome, Nassim Harriman, Marshall Levitz, Claudia Wells, and Roland McCready of Heart Math, also Sandra Hay of Earth Dance. And they're going to be teaching us and sharing the Global Coherence Pulse, which is the massive heart meditation that originates from Heart Math that's really prevalent. So, and also some music, Manoj, who performs with David Pramal, Jess Magic, and we're going to bring back Elijah Ray again, which is going to be amazing. And then the next week, we are having a theme of sacred activism, because we feel that what is happening right now is really calling us, all of us, to step up to what is our divine mission, what we came here to do, and actually do our part in the planet to create this new paradigm. And we've got some amazing speakers that we're working with. And the last week of this series, May 30th, we're going to do it on not the new normal. So that's going to be really looking at what we do want to create. And so please join us and spread the word, and hopefully we will continue on. Thank you, Scott.
All right. Thank you so much, Deborah. She's an amazing producer. She does so much to make this happen. And I'm sure many of you are probably familiar with Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. And we have a very special message from Bashar, which is going to be starting in a moment. And again, please do send me if you want to come on into the chat room, or if you want to come into the panel room, I need to see it. Is there anything, Diana, you want to say about Bashar or about his relationship to Conscious Life Expo?
Yes, he has been at the Conscious Life Expo specifically the last couple of years and in the past. And he's a really, well, it's Daryl Anka actually channeling Bashar. And it's very, very accurate, very down to earth, and funny and amusing. And tonight he's going to talk about going through the eye of the needle, which is literally what we're doing right now. So I think it's going to be a powerful sharing. I suggest everybody stay on. And I'd also just like to give another shout out to Gaia TV, who's our Conscious Life Expo live streaming partner. And you can watch the Conscious Life Expo program, the speaker program from 2020 and 2019 on there. And a lot of the speakers who are on here today are also on there. So I just wanted to thank them and acknowledge them for being part of getting Conscious Life Expo's message out into the world.
All right. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear what Bashar has to say. That's Daryl channeling him. Wouldn't you know it? I played it earlier today, and it played just fine. I tested it, and it played. We're going to try one more time. We're kind of learning, and it seems as though there seems to be a challenge with when we have lots of people watching these videos. Sometimes we struggle with it. And it's just spinning around and around. Try again. There we go. Hopefully.
All right, good day to all. We are delivering information about the idea you call a paradigm shift, which is what your collective consciousness is going through at this moment, in this time of focus, this time of transformation, this time of passing through what we have called the eye of the needle, a very narrow passage that gives you an opportunity in your isolation, in your sequestering, to go inward in yourself, to divest yourself and let go of those things that don't serve you, those fear-based beliefs, those old-fashioned, outdated beliefs, and even simply ideas and definitions that are no longer relevant for the you prefer to be. But in this idea of paradigm shift, it is important to understand also not only the experience, but the mechanics of what you're going through, how it works, and how you can become more aware and more conscious of what is going on in what you call a paradigm shift. Because the reality is, you are shifting paradigms all the time. As we have talked about, when you change anything, you're actually shifting to another version of Earth, another reality, billions of times per second. This is what creates the side effect, the illusion you call time, is that your consciousness is shifting through billions of different frames, so to speak, creating the illusion of time and movement and change and physical reality and space. So the idea is that you're already shifting very, very quickly. You're already changing your paradigms all the time. That's how you experience time. That's how you create time, is by changing your paradigm. So when we talk about the idea of changing and shifting your paradigm, it's not something that you have to learn to do. It's something you need to be more aware that you're already doing, so that you create more consciousness, more awareness, more conscious participation in what you're already doing. By understanding that this mechanism is automatic, that it's going on all the time, then you can navigate yourself through these paradigm shifts that you do billions of times per second in a more conscious way, leading yourself, navigating yourself, taking yourself through the different frames, through the different paradigm shifts, toward those that are more and more in alignment, more and more representative of the kinds of realities that you prefer to experience, the versions of Earth that you will shift through, to constantly experience new versions that are more representative, more reflective of the kinds of Earths that you prefer to experience. And therefore, it's simply a matter of becoming more aware of what you're already doing. Now, the idea of all these parallel versions of Earth existing simultaneously, because time is an illusion, is what forms the basis of this ability. When you project yourself, your consciousness, into the focus that you call physical reality, it's just that you go through these shifts so quickly, so smoothly, you don't even know or haven't known you've been doing it all along. So since you are experiencing paradigm shifts constantly to create the illusion of time, it's about allowing yourself to go inward now in this time of sequestering and work on your belief systems and letting go of those that prevent you from having more awareness of this mechanism that has always been going on since you decided to experience physical reality. It's simply one of the ways that physical reality is created. So, by divesting yourself of fear-based beliefs or things that simply are no longer relevant for you, you actually increase the sensitivity of your senses. You expand your ability to sense things that are going on different dimensional levels. You become more aware of what you're already doing, how you're already creating your reality. And by becoming more aware of that, you gain more mastery over how you're doing it, more consciousness about the direction you take yourself in, so that you can, in what you call your timeline, which is actually composed of many timelines, since you're always shifting around, you become more aware of how you're doing it. You become more able to navigate yourself along those frames that are only more and more representative of your true self, more in alignment with your true vibration, your essential core being, and experience only more and more those versions of Earth, those paradigm shifts that are more in the direction of the change you've made within yourself, vibrationally speaking. Because remember, physical reality isn't real. It's an illusion. It's a projection of consciousness. It's like a mirror reflecting back to you the vibration you're giving off. So the more awareness you have of what you're already doing, awareness leads to understanding this mechanism more clearly. And understanding this mechanism of what you're already doing more clearly leads to more experience that shifts and changes in ways to reflect to you the transparent nature of your physical reality. Time and space become more fluid, more flexible, more malleable. You experience more positive synchronicity aligned with your new vibration, your new paradigm that you're shifting through and to. You allow yourself more physical reflections. That physical reality is your projection. The experience of physical reality is real, but physical reality itself is not solid, is not permanent. One of the ways you know that physical reality isn't really real is that it isn't permanent. Things dissolve, things disintegrate. And therefore, that's your first clue that physical reality is just a projection. It's always changing, it's always shifting. Whereas your essential being, if you want to call it your essential consciousness, your essential awareness, your essential existence, your knowledge, your knowingness of yourself as a reflection, as a part of all that is eternal. That never disintegrates. That never goes away. It may change in terms of your perspective of yourself, from what level you're seeing yourself, but you are always going to be experiencing it from your perspective. Your perspective, as a perspective in all that is, never ceases to exist. Things are always going to be happening to you from your perspective, no matter what level you're on. So when you're dealing with physical reality that you're creating with your belief systems, that gets reinforced with the emotions, the thoughts and behaviors, and the experiences that the beliefs are creating to convince you that physical reality is solid, to convince you that what the belief is telling you is a fact that exists outside yourself, you start to know, as you become more aware that you're always shifting your paradigm, you start to know and start to see and start to feel and start to experience the ephemeral nature of physical reality. You start to really experience it as part of spirit, as an expression of spirit. The barriers between the idea of physical and non-physical reality start to dissolve, so that as space and time become more flexible, you develop a sense of mastery, and thus a sense of artistry and a sense of creativity with the creation of your physical reality and the creation of new reflective paradigms. Because you're already doing it as a mechanism, it's just that you've been using it to create what appears to be a slowly changing reality, instead of the true understanding that every single time you change billions of times a second, you are literally shifting to new realities, entirely new universes, entirely new ones, that you are truly a new person, a different person than was there before, that you are focusing your consciousness through new eyes, and that you're creating for yourself not only a new present, but a new future as well as a new past. Because with every change you make in creating a new present, you have to also, from space-time perspective, allow a new past to exist that would have been the past that created the new you. So you are changing your history billions of times a second as well. You may have had a completely different history 5 minutes ago, but you may not remember that, because as the new you, you're only aware of the new history that goes along with the new present you have created. If there is a reason for you to remember the idea of another history that was there a moment ago, then that can happen as space and time become more flexible and create what some of you have recognized as the Mandela effect, where different people actually remember different pasts, because there is an overlap now, more awareness of all the different parallel realities you are shifting through. And so sometimes you can retain in the present the idea of more than one parallel reality as a reference point to see that you have changed. Sometimes people will do that, thus creating what you have said to be the Mandela effect, where different people seem to genuinely remember different histories. That's not a confusion. There are different histories overlapping. Sometimes then, when that becomes clear and you know the direction that you really prefer to go, you may dissolve the overlap to a point where you will only perceive the history that you need to perceive, as you're doing right now. So again, the idea of this ability to more creatively, with more consciousness, more awareness, more mastery, make paradigm shifts in the direction you prefer, all begins with the awareness, the understanding, and the reinforced experience that would prevent you from knowing this is how it works, and let your physical mind wrap itself around the understanding of what this mechanism is as we have described it to you, and you will experience your paradigm shifts in a much more accelerated way, in a much more effortless experience and expression of creativity as you navigate yourself more unerringly only in the direction of those paradigm shifts that are more and more representative of the physical versions of Earth that you prefer to experience over the years to come, until that's all you're experiencing and everything else melts away, and only those vibrations that are compatible with who you prefer to be will be experienced by you at that point. But for now, enjoy the ride, enjoy learning and gaining more experience and more awareness and more understanding that you're shifting all the time, so that you can become a master of navigating yourself along the path that is truly you.
Can't hear you.
I'm not able to bring people in while I'm sharing screen, so I'm going to bring in the people who've asked to come into the panel. While I do that, I'm going to turn it over to you for a moment, Deborah.
Wow. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Bashar. Beautiful transmission. It really caps us off on this beautiful evening. And thank you everyone that participated. We still have 150 people in our Zoom room, and of course, all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. So we're going to go now into community connection. And we've been doing this at the end of all our broadcasts, and it's a really wonderful time because we are all teachers. We are all the ones we've been waiting for. And all of us in community have something beautiful to share. So this is a time for you to come on and do your 1 minute concise, dynamic transmission of what you want to share about awakening into the new paradigm. Do we have people in the room on the gallery now, Scott?
We do. Thank you very much for covering for me, Deborah. So I'm going to put the spotlight on Jay Mayer. Jay has been extraordinarily supportive of this program, of the GoFundMe. I've really just been getting to know him the last few weeks. And he also has developed a beautiful, beautiful way to help people experience greater love in their life, greater abundance in their life. So thank you, Jay, for being such an important part of our community. Thank you for who you are as a being, and thank you for your support. And you're up.
Well, I want to thank you, Scott, for doing such a great job. You're a natural. And Deborah, thank you for putting this together, making it happen. Actually, light touch is an opportunity for people to attract to themselves the new paradigm that we're talking about. I've heard people talk about that we're magnetic. Well, we are magnetic, and we have magical powers inside of us. We can reach the angels and the higher forces, and they can actually change situations. So Light Touch, we're talking about a merger between the Love Coach Academy and Light Touch to help people achieve a state of spiritual wellness. And I hope we can talk about that more in the future.
Thank you, Jay. It's very exciting what you bring with Light Touch. And for those of you who don't know, again, Love Coach Academy, we provide amazing relationship skills and tools to people all over the world. And you can join us online, free webinars every day at 9 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening. That's Pacific time. And just go to lovecoachacademy.com. You can click events, and that'll give you our whole schedule. And I'll put that link in next. a couple of the people who wanted to come on, I haven't been able to find you. Shira Seaver, if you wanted to share, I know you wanted to share last week, so I'm putting you in. If you'd like to share anything today, you can do so. This would be a good time. And if not, is there anybody? I think maybe because it's late.
There's something too.
I'm sorry, whoever that was, just go ahead and speak.
Well, I just want to say that we're also talking about miracle healing. And Jesus said that we can do even greater works than he did. And, light touch is the challenge to actually attract those beneficial forces.
And tell us for a minute, what is light touch? For people who don't know, what is light touch?
Well, light touch is something that we should have been taught in school, that we're magnetic beings and we have magnetic powers and we can attract to ourselves good fortune, and we can heal our marriages, with the Love Coach Academy. And light touch is where our goal is to have 100,000 marriages healed as a way to end war on the planet, through happier couples, men and women loving each other.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. And yes, to happier marriages. And that's what Love Coach Academy helps with. And actually one of the people within Love Coach Academy who's been coming to our classes and retreats and workshops for a long, long time is Deborah Haviland. And Deborah, I'm putting the spotlight on you.
Hello. I usually want to say a prayer or read a poem. Right now, I'm just so moved by everybody. I want to express deep gratitude for what is happening here, where we are all expressing our highest consciousness and inspiration of awakening. And I have known since I was born on Easter Day that I was called. I think a lot of us here are bodhisattvas. We have returned. This is our time. We are here to awaken. And my whole life has been focused on spiritual awakening and personal growth and development and the creative arts and whatever awakens our souls. I work a lot with Sufi books like this. I'll just show you because there's not enough time. The music of the soul and the qualities of God. The more we're calling these in with our practices. And I am with the Love Coach Academy and I work with Scott CATOMAS. And I love this work because no matter what we're doing out there, how we communicate, how we bring the empathy, the love, people are going through so much right now. And I am dedicated to service, love, serve, remember. And I'm a love coach and I work with nutrition and all the ways that we can heal our heart, mind, body, and soul and be doing our purpose and creating heaven on earth. So thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to have Shira Seaver come on in a moment. And ASHEL, I would love to maybe close us with you playing music if you've been able to kind of get the audio together. So maybe message me either cell phone text or send me a message in the chat box if you think that your audio is such and you'd like to close us out with some of your beautiful music. I loved what you played last week, but I just want to make sure that we can actually hear you, otherwise it's frustrating. So let me know about that. And I'm going to put the spotlight on Shira Seaver, who's a longtime friend and an important and beloved member of our community. And you need to unmute.
Unmute.
I'll do it for you, Shira.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay.
Hi. I've been wanting to come on just to say hello to everyone for the last 3 to 4 weeks and to speak on some of the themes that you've shared. Tonight was so profound that I certainly don't have anything to add to it other than gratitude and inspiration. And I'm very inspired just to be the change I want to see and to walk to continue to walk in love and light and continue to do the inner work. That seemed to be a real strong theme this evening, that let's focus on our inner technologies right now. So I'm just saying hello and thank you. And I'm really looking forward to the Sacred Activism episode next week. And I look forward to sharing a little bit more then.
Beautiful. Thank you, Shira. Thank you.
Nice to see you all.
And actually, just to be clear, next week is Global Coherence, and they bring in people from HeartMath.
Oh, that's right. Right.
So next week is Global Coherence, and the following week, May 23rd, Sacred Activism.
Thanks a lot.
Sure, thank you. All right, an old friend, Samuel. We're going to bring you on for a moment. Samuel, how are you doing, partner?
Good, thank you. I just wanted to share to everybody about the Sacred Friends community. We're based in Los Angeles. I'm called the Goodwill Ambassador for the Southern California Conscious Community. I've been connecting people forever. I've been in the consciousness movement since 1971. And I love helping people move to the next level of their spiritual development by connecting them to what they need, sharing about speakers, networking, socializing, events. And when I hear about something good, I can't help but share it. The Hunan Ku was mentioned tonight by a couple of the speakers. I sell sacred geometry pendants, and that's one of the pendants that I carry. I teach sacred geometry for the last 20 years, and I'm just very much a part of this community. It's been my passion to be involved, and I love that you put this together, and you're bringing community wonderful information. And anyways, anybody who's interested can sign up for my email list at sacredfriends.org. And if you're interested in the sacred geometry pendants, I have 65 different patterns, and you can see them at sacredpendants.com.
Great.
And it's just a pleasure to be part of this whole process of turning the negative pandemic into a way of coming into the light more strongly.
Thank you, Samuel. It's great to see you again. It's also an old
Thanks.
friend. Emmy has something quick she wants to say. Then Deborah, if you want to say your closing, and then we'll finish with ASHEL, putting us all to sleep with a beautiful song. So Emmy, you're up.
Yes, I want to acknowledge that a couple of days ago was Wesak, that is the birthday of the Buddha, and the enlightenment of the Buddha, and the death of the Buddha. And I want you to be relaxed with your eyes closed, and we're gonna remember all the bodhisattvas, all these amazing teachers that came before us. May all beings be free from illness and suffering. May everyone experience the holy happiness of love and quick attain enlightenment, so that samsara is finally extinguished. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings rejoice in the well-being of others. May all beings live in peace, free from greed and envy. May all beings be happy and free. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
Thank you, Emmy. Thank you very much for your beautiful, beautiful offerings tonight.
And just sending big love out to everyone, because that's literally what we're here for. It's the bottom line. It's loving each other, honoring each other, appreciating each other, co-collaborating like we've done tonight in such beautiful ways. Also, we have a Facebook group that we've started. So if you have ideas of people you'd like to see on the show, or topics or comments or anything, we're open to all your comments. And I'll put it in the chat line here, our Facebook group that we started, that we're going to listen to what everyone says. But more than anything, it's about the love. As we all know, it's the bottom line.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful person to work with. I really am grateful for birthing this with you and bringing in Diana. Diana, I'm going to put the spotlight on you again one more time. Thank you so much.
Yes, I just wanted to thank you and Deborah so much for creating this and putting this together. It's such an incredible thing. Really, I'm very, very grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you, and thanks for doing such a wonderful job, bringing so many wonderful friends.
Yeah, it was wonderful that you invited Conscious Life Expo to participate, and it was a lovely opportunity for us to share like this. Thank you.
Hooray! A win-win for sure. Definitely part of the new paradigm. All right, we're going to turn it over to ASHEL, but I do want to thank more donations coming in. Thank you, Kathleen Gildred, my dear soul sister in Topanga. I just want to acknowledge beloved William Golden, her lifelong partner. It would have been his birthday this week on May 6th. Delisa, thank you. Yamini, thank you very much. And that anonymous fellow just keeps on donating. Very generous. All right, we are going to send you off with a new age lullaby, a new paradigm way of completing with this beautiful man and this beautiful music. Tell us about that instrument.
Yes, yeah, this is an Ngoni. It's from West Africa. I actually got this in Chicago as well. Someone got this from me. So I just got back from West Africa. So it's like African harp is a precursor to the banjo. So yeah, so share some of the tunes. Thank you so much. Yes, Lightworkers Unite, you know, Rainbow Warriors, the whole crew, just people really just stepping up. So I'm excited about it. Hear me well?
Yes.
It's okay, cool.
That's good.
Essential food and medicine. Nobody nothing at all. Not a name that anybody can call. Got a mission on mission to change the world. There's a mission for the boys of the girls. Restoration that you never know. No agenda to stick it to the man. Or even in no, not selling dope. What's somebody that mind ain't a lot of me? Intuition, inspiration, no desires. Temperature, or the ice or the land. Hush up every team, a political party. Not lazy, no revolutionary. Patient never waiting, got no story. And what I am, I'm completely empty. And what I am, I'm completely empty. I am what I am, I'm completely empty. And it is all I need. Silence is the universe. Stillness is what gives back to me. In the silence, others I need. Everybody wanna be someone. Nobody wanna be no thing. But what we believe we are, just a mask over the real thing. What is watching the watcher? Perceiving the perceiver, perceive. Believing and believing you're the person. We awaken from this tree. The ways in the mind are ancient. The true self is without tongue. I see you is at the nothing to do. Just to realize, Let's people rising in the silence now. Sit back and pray. Meditate on now. It is Silence is stillness is the biggest part of anxiety is where the world is at. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Emptiness for love everything. Inside is where the world is at. Silence is the universe.
Oh, thank you so much. That was just beautiful. Let's all twinkle ASHEL for such a beautiful way to conclude our evening. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Tomorrow morning, it's 9 a.m. I'll be doing the Sacred Sunday show for Love Coach Academy. And we've got something every day at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific time. Remember, Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, we'll have DANNION and BRINKLEY. And you can get a chance to really drop in deeper with DANNION. Thank you, Ken Kaufman. Thank you, Deborah GUSTIE. Thank you, Jay Mayer, for all of your support. Thank you, all of our presenters, musicians. Let's all get a good night's rest. Good night, everybody. See you next week.